When's lunch? When's lunch? When's lunch? Oh no.
Welcome back, everybody, to When's Lunch. I'm the number one host of the podcast, Spencer.
That's not true. I'm the number one host, Matheson. Fan voted, democratic process.
Okay.
Number one host.
Once again, we find ourselves with another person, with a thirdman.
With a thirdman.
Do I introduce myself or did?
Hold on,
No,
for just a second. Matheson,
Good God.
Matheson, I'm a little bit upset.
What's that?
I'm a little bit mad. Two reasons. One, because our guest was a little bit late. Second, because our guest is taller,
Yeah.
more handsome,
Yeah.
better facial hair.
Yeah.
He's a talented actor,
Yeah.
and he's a famous TikTok influencer. Make some noise, Matheson, for our friend Pierson Fode.
Yes, Pierson's here.
Stop. Okay. I mean, obviously, I am.
Way more handsome.
You praise me with all the nicest of things, but I'm definitely not a better TikToker than you. Don't you kid
Dude,
yourself?
you're 2 million followers deep on TikTok now, right?
Yeah.
You're a TikTok. You're a bona fide TikTok star.
I like the term TikTok God, actually.
Ooh.
Yeah. I think TikTok star is a little bit too.
Now,
That's
that's
very Gen Z. You know what I mean?
It's also when you only have 1 million followers. I
Yeah.
think when you have 2,
When you get to 2 million, it's when
you're a god.
I'm a TikTok God. I mean, Charlie D'Amelio's, she's a star still. She's only got that 40 mil, but
He's 50 now.
is it 50? That's so ridiculous.
It's 49.8.
How do you go, like, what app in the history of apps do you just, like, blow up to 50 million in, like, a 3-month window?
I don't think it was even like that with Vine. I really don't.
It wasn't. It's not even like that on Instagram now. Like,
No, hell no.
remember the time back in the day, if you had a famous friend that posted about you, they would just, boom. You get
yeah.
posted, and bam,
Yeah.
you've got 10,000 new followers.
In a day.
Now somebody posts about you, and you practically get unfollowed by all of their followers. They
Literally.
block you.
It's a bunch of horrible DMs.
People are just breaking their phones in half.
Right.
Like, why'd you do
Just
that?
trash.
It's really unnecessary.
Dude, you are one person that me and Matheson have wanted to have on here since we came up with this because we think that you're
Since last week.
since last week.
Yeah, since we couldn't find a guest, and we were like, we got to figure this out quick.
Figure it out. I know a
Grab that trash panda of a human piece.
But dude, no, we
thanks.
were excited to have you on because like I think you're hilarious and also thoughtful
Oh, thanks, man.
at the same
Yes.
time.
Super interesting guy, for sure.
Yeah, what
Appreciate
dude,
that.
if you had to cliff note us your story of life, but mostly your story of how you got from your home state of Washington to here. Like how did you get here? What's the shortened version of that? How'd you become an actor, a working actor in Hollywood?
Man, I think to give context to my story, oh, Jesus Christ.
That's the first
You
burp
like
we've ever
made
had.
it worse. You like cupped into the mic.
So everybody like moves away when they get mouth problems, and as somebody that loves Joe Rogan's podcast,
just burp into it?
I'm like, I want to know, like, I want to feel what it was like in that moment. The sparkling water got to me.
100%. It does, dude.
Okay, so that was a side burp contrast, whatever the fuck story.
Important.
Very
nonetheless.
important. No, so I was born and raised on a farm in Washington State, homeschooled, so fairly disconnected from most society. Except my parents did a good job of like getting us into like youth group at church or putting us on sports teams and getting us out and having good friend groups. But I felt kind of disconnected from the world, and I felt like I wanted to do something with my life, and I didn't know what that meant as like 7-year-old kid or a 5-year-old kid.
Right.
But I loved movies. And I remember something specifically happened as a kid where I saw, there's very pivotal movies in my life, but specifically Rocky and Star Wars. But Star Wars has the best example for me of you see Luke Skywalker on his farm, which was so applicable to me. You can see this with Superman 2 or anybody, but
Tatooine Farm.
Tatooine Farm. And he looks at his double sunset.
Double
and
sunset, yeah.
that moment where he realized that he was destined for something greater.
Right.
And he goes off over the next few movies and saves the galaxy with Han Solo and Princess Leia and creating a ragtag bunch of family, And I knew in that moment that I was going to become a Jedi warrior.
I knew.
No, I
Hasn't
knew-
happened yet.
Hasn't. I'm still working on the whole force push and pull thing, but
Can't force it. You can't force
can't force it.
Oh
You guys and your
man!
punnies.
Hey!
You're so
the,
punny.
Cut the episode. We're
Oh
done.
God, it's done. You can't end
Yeah.
higher than that.
It,
Cut it out.
Get out.
No, I knew I clearly could not become a Jedi, so I decided for the next best thing, which was to become an entertainer. I knew I wanted to make movies.
I was gonna say, did you find yourself as a kid being super creative, like all the time,
Yeah.
or having like thoughts where you wanted to not just play football or like
No.
just play?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just like I that was the first thing I knew I wanted to do was make movies. But I didn't know if that meant I wanted to direct or produce or act. I was like, I want to do that thing.
Right.
You're like 7 years old when you
Yeah.
realized
That like
Wow.
magic thing that for sure, which literally is me describing music for me.
Yeah.
Was that like
Yeah.
Elvis?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like you have an opportunity to reach into people's lives and touch them without the distraction of politics or religion or anything else.
Yeah. Oh
and
my god.
speak to people across the world through a single medium. I think that's fucking fantastic.
100%.
It's a
Yeah.
cool way of thinking of it.
Yeah.
What about you? Tell me about that. I mean, unless your listeners have
Hold on,
already
I
heard
feel like
that.
there's so
Yeah.
much more of the story here.
Yeah. There's only
so far
seven-year-old?
so far you're 7 years old.
Oh,
Yeah, where-
So what
where-
happened when you were 8?
So 8 years old, I got into a huge problem with Steven Spielberg. Still waiting to meet that guy. So that became quickly my journey. I found multiple friends that thought that was a cool idea, but never thought it would ever come into existence and constantly shat on that idea. Then I found one friend who actually loved this, and he was already making movies himself. So we would always get together and film on
In Washington.
in Washington. Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome. It's really hard to find people doing creative shit in your hometown.
Yeah, especially the same creative shit that
Yeah.
you're doing.
Right.
Verbatim. But yeah, we started getting together and making movies, and I say movies. They're shitty home videos, really,
Yeah.
is really
Oh,
what
yeah.
they're called.
Oh,
and I
yeah.
saved all of them. And I can't
Yes.
wait to start releasing them as I
Ew.
get like more and more famous. TikTok God. But
Throwing it out there.
I tried moving out, when I was like 15, and my parents were like,
Oh, where?
nah, to LA.
Wow.
They're like, nah, it's not going to happen. We're not going to support that. And I was like, that's fair. Totally get it. And they're like, why don't you finish college and then we'll support that habit. And I was like, sick. So we had this program in Washington where you could dual enroll in college at like 16 years old. So
While you're in high school, you're also in college.
yeah. So I did that.
Crazy.
Graduated with just associates in business and science, and then moved to LA when I was 18. Sorry, no, I didn't. I applied at 100 different, with a resume of like 100 different agencies, studios.
You're
anything I
that
could
kind
get.
of person.
I went to every single place that I possibly could because I had,
Right.
the only thing I had ever had was reading books from a library, and finally Google came out when I was a kid, and we could like kind of research stuff.
Yeah.
But I had no connection.
Oh, for sure.
Like I'm sure you guys didn't have any connection truly to what you.
I had the yellow pages. I would call all kinds of restaurants and shit to play
Yeah.
at.
really.
Do all that kind of
Yeah.
shit. Oh, yeah. I
That's
used
the
the
hustle.
phone book, dude.
No way.
I mean, I literally had a computer, but I just also had the phone book, and I was like,
Like this is the move.
yeah.
The
It was
vibe.
easy. It was easy with the home phone action.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The home phone is a classic. Would you have corded or wireless?
It was wireless, bro. Come on.
Bro, I remember the corded days. Like, I don't
Oh,
think
yeah.
any of the viewers of this podcast will remember a corded thing, but corded headphones. Those are sorry,
Dude,
corded
I've-
phones.
Corded anything. Nothing.
mics.
Nothing needs. I know. What are you
Corded
doing over
mics.
here?
Disgusting.
This show's canceled.
Canceled. But then I went from that. So I finally got some feedback from a couple places, and I got accepted at this internship in Kansas City, Missouri, to which I will not reveal names because I hate that place. It was trash, and everybody involved was a trash panda. So
How do you really feel about that place?
Yeah.
loathe entirely.
I get it, dude. I get that for sure. Was it like a creative place? Supposed to be?
It was supposed to be everything that they said it was going to be was not. You had to pay to be a part of it.
Oh yeah. No.
Oh,
No.
they'll
The,
pay
no.
to
The
play.
Yeah, pay and play. Then they used you for like 80 hours a week.
Oof.
And I did learn some like really valuable lessons, obviously, including to never fucking go back.
I would think even about business, like
Oh yeah,
just like how you shouldn't do business.
How old are you at this point?
I was 18.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
as soon as I graduated, I moved out and went to the film internship in KC, and then it was live production. So I learned some
Oh, cool.
stuff about that.
Yeah.
And then I was like, cool, I have peaked. You guys suck. And
Going to LA.
I'm moving to LA. And I thankfully had signed with Wilhelmina Models by that point. Did a competition.
Great.
Signed with Wilhelmina. And then made it out to LA. And then from there, my trajectory was just kind of spearheaded. I mean, again, I had no connection out here. I was just like, all right, cool. Well, I'll go sleep on couches. And then I, started running out of funds. So I lived in my car and on couches. And every penny I made was going towards like acting classes and headshots and the hustle.
Yeah.
And then
The
finally,
real grind, dude.
It
That's
gets
cool.
expensive too,
That's
man.
cool.
It's like it's hard to spend $500 a month in acting class when you literally make $500 a month.
that was it.
That's
Bro, I
I'm
ate
with you.
spinach, oatmeal, and protein powder
Yeah.
consistently for like the better part
All
of
at
6
once?
months. Sometimes, yeah. I would eat spinach because I was like, oh, that's got nutrients in it, and I can't afford it on anything else. But yeah, that was kind of like the
Dude.
Spark Notes version of it.
That's crazy. I actually didn't know. I know you pretty well, and I didn't know any of that.
Really?
I didn't know you went to Kansas City and did like a supposed to be creative workshop. Yeah,
That was trash.
It's we're not going to say the name of it.
Yeah.
How long have you been in Kansas
sold.
City?
9
Before you came out
months.
here? Okay.
Oh,
Long
my
enough to
Lord.
have the spawn of Satan birthed inside of me to hate that place. And it was a Christian internship. No offense towards Christians. I was very Christian for a long time, and so
Right.
I just I developed a very distasteful taste in my mouth for that place.
You mentioned Star Wars, which I'm actually finishing. I've seen all of them before, but we're watching them in a row right now, like one a night. And I have not seen Solo, the offshoot, but has anyone ever told you that you could have played a young Han Solo?
I auditioned for that part.
Oh,
They made a grave mistake by hiring him and not
Dude,
me.
they did.
Let's be honest.
I remember even telling Maddie.
Thank you, by the
Maddie,
way.
the
That's such
producer.
a fucking compliment.
our unpaid intern.
Yeah, I remember.
Did she pay to be your guys' intern?
She pays us.
Yeah, it's a
actually
pay to play.
great.
Kind of thing.
Um,
You know
that
about
makes
that.
sense.
she gets paid a lot to be in Jumanji, but this isn't Jumanji.
This is a
This
way
is
better
the-
opportunity.
Exclusively the only podcast down on the balcony. Yeah.
Wow, is it really?
the only one. You want to know what's crazy about it?
Talk to me.
Helicopters, cars,
No, it's a Hummer. It's not a car.
planes, Hummers.
H3.
You will not get that anywhere else because this is
It's true.
It's a balcony podcast. It's exclusively the only one. So
Dude, I love that about this.
yeah, it's a very cool fact, and you can look it up anywhere.
Go on.
Anyway, you are Han Solo. You're a young Han
Burped in the
Solo.
phone. I was trying to burp before you started talking again. Sorry.
Threw up.
You could play Han Solo, though.
Thank you.
That's a good
Can
point.
I ask you how close you got?
I know my tape was sent off to producers. I never made it past that session. I forget who was casting it, but they had direct offers to the kid that actually booked it.
Yeah.
But I saw like a shit ton of famous people in there that I was like, I know you. Well, you definitely aren't going to
Morgan
book
Freeman.
it. Yeah, Morgan Freeman was in there. He's like, I can play a young Han Solo.
Morgan, you are
Take a man
83.
70 years to get out of this.
no,
damn prison.
trust me. I can play him.
For some reason, I trust you.
All right.
You can play Han.
It's me, Han Solo.
Not a bad Morgan Freeman.
Oh yeah.
Probably the best Morgan Freeman impression I've ever heard.
Let me tell you
Probably,
about,
more than likely, tremendous.
Tremendous.
More than
Tremendous.
likely. Keegan Michael Key was on a podcast that I listened to, Conan O'Brien's
I thought
podcast.
you were going to say he was on this one. I was like, holy
We just
shit,
had
you guys
Keegan,
are
actually.
pulling.
We do have some really cool guests that we're
Sick.
super excited about,
I'm stoked for that.
including you.
Yes.
Keegan was doing. He was. Billy D is the guy who plays Lando Calrissian. in Star Wars.
Stud muffin. I love him. Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah, that's
so
him.
like he's telling the story about he's a big Star Wars fan, and he was doing an impression of Billy D on set, and they're like, and he's just like, "Hey, Chewbacca," and George Lucas was like, "No, it's Chewbacca." Oh, okay, I got you. Hey, Chewbacca, come here. he just does what he wants because he's Billy
That's
D.
great.
And it was really funny. Yeah.
That's dope.
Oh, that was
What-
Donald Glover. I forgot. That played young.
Oh, and that would've been-
I actually think that Donald Glover did a great job. Oh wait, yeah, you haven't seen it yet, but Donald
I
Glover.
haven't
did a
seen it, but I've
great
seen.
job.
I
Well, you would know
literally
that.
see him right away, and I'm like, this is perfectly casted. I
Yeah.
love his acting too. I think Donald Glover's crazy,
Dude, 100%.
crazy understated.
Dude, he is so stupidly talented at everything he does.
It's not fair, man.
Bro, I met him one time. This is before he became the Childish Gambino
Is this
we know
when he
him
was on
as.
Community?
It was, I think, just after he had stopped Community.
Gotcha. So he wasn't like a rapper yet. He had
Exactly.
like one mixtape out.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah,
And we
it's
were
Donald
at,
Glover.
I think it was back when I was dating Vic, and we were at this party. It was the Nylon party, and he just performed for them. And we all met up at the after party, and nobody was talking to him. And I was like, dude. So I ran up to him. I was like, bro, and nobody knew who he was either. And I was like, bro, I freaking like, obviously, like, your rap was dope. And he's like, yeah, I was off. Like, I wasn't like in key today, and I couldn't like stay on the rhythm. I was like, still sounded fucking fantastic. But I was like, bro, I freaking loved you on Community. He was like, dude, no, thanks, man. I really appreciate that. And I was like, cool. And we just hung out like the whole night.
That's
and
awesome.
Just chilled. And he was the nicest dude.
What a cool Donald Glover
awesome.
story.
I know, it was random. And then I was like, fuck, I should have gotten your number before you became Childish Gambino.
Dude. Have you seen Atlanta?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a really great show.
Dude, that's great.
That's so fucking cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Do you have any great Gambino stories, either of you?
No, he's just like one of those guys though. That, like, I feel like there's a select few people that no matter what they put out, people are going to be super stoked to see or hear.
Yeah,
what it is.
I mean, his like last album that he just dropped a month ago, or whatever. The album cover is just white.
Yeah.
It's just the color white, and there's some songs in there that are just like jam tracks where he's not really on them, and it's still a piece of art.
Dude, the guy's he's a stud across the board.
Yeah, he is.
He can do no wrong.
He can really do no wrong.
Is he somebody that you'd like love to work with?
Yeah, 100%.
Like the list.
100%. He's one of the people, like the obvious people are Bruno Mars, Taylor Swift, the A-list pop artist, but he is also a pop artist,
Yeah.
but he's like a little left, you know? And I think
Pop
that's really
adjacent,
cool. Yeah.
which is
He's pop adjacent.
Papa Jason, my man.
And he's like very highly sought after, like as like a cool indie.
yeah, exactly. He's got just like street cred almost, kind of. I don't know.
Definitely does.
Plus, he's Lando Calrissian.
I mean, come
So
on. What else could be greater than
A
that?
young Lando.
I mean, okay, so back to my question. Have you talked about your trajectory, both of your trajectories, since the conception of this podcast?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we've had
Okay.
plenty of
So I don't
thought. They've heard it 3 times by now.
Okay.
What I actually want to know, we talked about this before you got here, but you were on a Disney show.
Yes, I was.
So you're also on Real Bros of Simi Valley.
The greatest show of all time, baby.
Very
Hala
different.
habibi.
Very different.
sorry,
things.
1 second. You're gonna maybe make this feedback by holding it up there. Yes.
We can cut out whatever.
We can
No,
we
we're
can
gonna
cut out
it all
whatever.
out.
But
We're cutting everything.
We're gonna cut everything. It's a 3-minute trailer.
we just stop at the force joke. And then
Literally,
that was it.
that would actually be the funniest way to do the entire.
That is gonna
podcast.
probably gonna be one of the teasers. What was I saying? Oh,
Disney show.
You were on
Both
a
shows.
Disney show. You were on Real Bros of Simi Valley.
Yes.
Very,
Totally
very
different. Totally different.
So I obviously know I have more of an idea what it would be like working on Real Bros, but doing a Disney show, what can you do? What can you not do? How do you act on set? Like, how is what's it like?
Man, Disney. I mean, I had like a bucket list of things that I desperately wanted to do, and Disney was one of those things.
Did it live up?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it was definitely different in ways that I expected. Like, we all have our expectations of that. You know, something that's on our bucket list, and we're like, this is what it's got to be. By the time I do it, it's going to be wild. And it was very different, but at the same time, totally fantastic.
Totally.
The do's and don'ts were don't fuck up and don't change the script. And so
What happens if you do?
I mean, it's such a tight schedule and a tight turnaround. So memorize your lines.
Are they real pissed off?
If you come in and consistently do a bad job, you're definitely getting fired.
I can just imagine, like Disney, the most wholesome company. Like you walk in the front door, it's the first thing it just says, "Don't fuck up."
Don't fuck it up.
Like,
Sounds accurate.
I'm like, all
Yeah.
right, well,
Like, cause
my best.
and it's a very logical choice, just because it's like you're paying hundreds of people to work on this singular project, and in
Right.
a given moment you're turning around quick, and you have to be on your game. So changing your lines when it has to get approved by first the writer, the producer, the director, and then it goes up to the execs. Literally something as simple as changing an and to a but, you'd have to get
my
it approved
Lord.
all the way up the line. And
Crazy.
yeah, they were very, very specific.
On a lot of sets, I know that like they don't encourage you to change the lines and change things, but you know it's a little looser. At least some of my friends who worked on shows, like sometimes they'll literally say a different line, and the director will be like, "That works better,"
Oh, totally.
You know, like
Yeah.
that's so crazy on Disney. It's like calculated, but it
Very.
works.
Yeah.
It's like a perfect formula that works really well
No, they've got it down to an art.
and it's clean.
Oh, it's so clean.
Yeah.
There's okay, so the producers and writers had wanted me to get shirtless because I'd shot my episodes that I was contracted for, and then in the following season they wanted to do a follow up with my character, which was
Pearson's a very ripped man.
very sexy ripped man.
Yeah.
You and I should have ripped babies.
Yeah.
I'd be interested.
can.
Dude, we're fat guys now, dude.
We're just like
true.
we're
You
just
guys are
quarantine
studs.
fat.
no, we're just quarantine fat.
Quarantine fatties.
That's the name of this podcast.
Yeah, we should talk about your ripped guy commercial after this. But,
Oh, yeah.
I've
so
seen that.
so the show is Jesse on Disney.
Yes, Jesse. I played Brooks on Jesse.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
Jesse's
also a
with
TikTok
Debbie-
that went viral when I go, "Hi, I'm Brooks from Jesse." Stupid. Yeah, Debbie Ryan's the star of it.
Gotcha.
Oh, Josh.
Josh's-
Josh Dunn's girlfriend, right? Or fiance?
Fiance.
Yeah.
Fiance.
Yes, sir. Yeah, they're great.
Oh, that's why you know 21 Pilots so well.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense.
So I met Josh because of Debbie back when they were dating while we were shooting Jesse. And I was dating Victoria Justice at the time. And so we would all go to, like, Josh was playing at the House of Blues, and they weren't like 21 Pilots
That's
as we know
so
them
crazy
then.
that 21 Pilots was playing at House of Blues.
Yeah, it's wild, right?
It's hilarious.
Bro, like so we met, Josh and I met, and like clearly he wanted to like be sure that I wasn't some douchebag, you know, doing these like makeout scenes with his girlfriend.
Right.
And I was that douchebag, but we became friends anyways. And so despite my douchebaggery, we became friends, and like he would, like, him and Tyler were going and like cruising shows. I remember in Boston, I was shooting a movie, and he was like, "Oh, bro, I'm playing a show at the House of Blues in Boston." I was like, "Sick."
A great House of Blues, by the way.
Great House of
A
Blues.
giant
Are they
one.
closed?
No. Oh, hell no. It's next to Fenway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was fantastic.
That one will never close. It's so legendary. And
Why,
I've still
why'd
never
the one
played it.
here close?
It's in West Hollywood. There's like 5 other venues. The Troubadour's was better.
Yeah, that's fair.
The El Rey was better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that just
Totally. No, that makes total sense.
yeah. The Roxy's was the same, and it was across the street.
Just across the street. Oh,
Yeah.
shit. Just so I wrap up that one story, just in case people are like, what the fuck happened to the end of that shirtless story?
Yeah, I have to know.
Oh,
Shirtless.
shirtless story.
On Jesse.
Shirtless on Jesse. The producers wrote it up the line, and then the execs canceled me being shirtless on the day because they didn't want to be inappropriate on children's content.
Interesting
TV.
that they waited till the day.
Yeah, they were like, we're gonna put on a tank top on you, and I was like,
I just
Okay.
dieted down for 3 weeks.
I haven't
eating
eaten
asparagus.
You understand the steroids that are in my body?
I've been
I am
hyped
gonna
up on
burst.
HGH for weeks now. You put on 40 pounds of muscle. Good for you. You look like The Rock.
You look great, dude.
Thanks, bro.
Your eyes are firing out of your head. This is really not healthy.
Jacked. But yeah, that was that, and then now we're on the House of Blues. But yeah, have you played at the House of Blues?
I played it not the Boston one, but I played at many House of Blueses.
Oh, that's dope.
Dallas, Houston, Chicago. Forget where else.
Yeah.
So it was only the LA
Anaheim.
one. I thought all of them closed for some reason.
Oh no, just West Hollywood.
Cleveland.
Okay, good.
Oh, we played Cleveland. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I love them.
It's funny that we have all three of us have like a 21 Pilots connection, kind of, because we're
How do you guys know the squaw?
well, they're from Columbus, and
I think we
we're
just know them for like when I was in high school. They like were like just a thing in Columbus, really.
Oh, okay.
And then I didn't
go
really go to college, so then I saw them around at shows, like small shows, like little venues. And I would just like be going to shows to see people opening up for them, and then they'd be playing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes total sense.
I've met them in passing a couple times, never really became friends.
Mm-hmm.
But they seem really cool.
They're dope dudes. They're
Yeah.
super nice.
the church gig that I had in Columbus used to be Josh's church gig.
Oh, really?
Actually, which is really weird.
Oh, after he like went off and toured, you took over as the drummer.
Yeah, I think there was some in between
Right.
people, but
Well, whoever was in between both of you were clearly trash.
Apparently, they're
agreed.
Actually, it's the drummer from
It's the drummer from
it's the Leonard Skinner drummer.
Oh wow.
No,
Yeah,
it's
trash.
just funny because and then one of the singers at the same church. This is going to sound dark, but it's not that dark. Was actually like the first 21 Pilots drummer.
Oh yeah.
His name is Chris.
Interesting.
Really great dude. But just decided that he wanted a different life path, and
Makes
then
sense.
Josh came in, and
I am sure though. Well, this is also the thing is I'm sure that they became so successful. 50%
No, 100%.
because of Josh.
Right.
But
It's a two-man
I
show.
bet the guys probably looking back like
shitting himself.
I think there's some.
that's
I think
the
there's
path
probably.
that I did want.
I mean, he has a family now, and he loves his kids.
I'm pretty
and
sure
all
he would
that
give
kind of
his
stuff.
entire family away.
He would literally send everybody
Just
to
murder his
adoption if he
wife.
could just like be like, "Hey, yo, I'm back in, baby.
Hey, yo.
Let's go."
Hey, I'm back. Is that cool? Like 7 years later, Josh is like, no, no.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm pretty
But
sure that.
no, it's just funny that we all have that same weird connection.
Yeah.
Anyways, doesn't matter.
That's dope, though. I mean, great dudes.
Shirtless
Really nice
commercial,
guys. Oh yeah.
shirtless burger commercial.
Oh yeah.
Is that
Okay.
Carl's Jr.?
Yo, so we were doing a spoof for CBS All Access.
The hot girl commercial.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
That's what it was. You
and-
you remade that.
Exactly. And so I actually did have a shirtless commercial, but something totally. It was for Think Thin protein bars.
Really?
Shout out to Think Thin because they
Do you
paid
still
my bills
get-
for a long time.
Do you still get free?
Nah,
Thin bars?
no, they. You know what's crap? They didn't send me a single fucking free Think Thin
Dude.
protein bar.
You know they changed
trash.
Think. They're just Think now.
oh, shut up, Think Thin.
I know you're always Think Thin in our hearts.
It just
That being said, if you want to send
Shout out.
us some
Yeah,
prep
we
shout
would
out.
love-
I'm your boy. We'll
you
all
know.
take it. We're sitting here waiting.
Shirtless commercial for Think Thin. Great. Were
we
you
eat them
working
on
out?
the show. Anyways, shirtless.
Shirtless commercial. Yeah, it was a spoof on the Carl's Jr.'s commercials for all the girls that would eat in super sexy. Like,
Remember like the hot
lingerie,
girls that would
yeah.
eat? Yeah.
And there's just mustard running
great.
down their chest.
Literally.
Like, that's not that
I did
appealing.
mayonnaise on my pants and titties.
That was different. That was when you were
Did you
alone.
actually?
Yeah. Oh
Mayonnaise
yeah.
in your pants?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was my idea.
Wait, really?
They were like, "Oh, so we want it to like hit your shirt," and I was like, "Okay, so are we not going to point out the obvious that mayonnaise looks like sperm, and we should probably do it on my pants, and that would be really funny."
It's like,
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh,
yeah, let's do that.
that's a great idea." And then I had this like slow mo shot that I stole it from Magic Mike, but I took a water bottle and squeezed it really tight and then shot off the cap.
Oh, yeah.
in slow mo right next to my crotch, and they thought that was hilarious.
Great.
They're like, "We're probably going to cut that." I'm like, "That's stupid, but fine." And then they kept it. But
Yeah, you were big at that time. You were very.
yeah, I had put on 45 pounds for a movie that I was shooting as a football player.
45 pounds.
Mhm.
That's
Dude, if you see
insane.
this commercial,
I've seen it. Yeah.
just look up Pierson Fode shirtless on YouTube, and you'll probably see this commercial. And you are massive.
It was thicker than a bowl of oatmeal.
You are thicker than a bowl of oatmeal with nut butter in it.
With spinach and protein.
Spinach and protein powder. Yeah, it was a good time. But yeah, no, that was a fun commercial actually. I remember that.
I bet that would be like. Was there like a small crew of people working where
Oh,
you could
yeah.
just like
Do whatever you
fuck
want.
off and like
Yeah.
try some stuff?
I was literally shooting on Bold and Beautiful at the time. I had a 2-year contract that I was on that show. So in between my show that I was shooting, it was on the day that I was on set. They're like, "Okay, cool. We've got a 3-hour gap between your shots, roughly. So
Yeah.
we're gonna try and shoot this out super quick." And I was like, "Boom, let's go." And we just grabbed random guys that were in the cafeteria at CBS just to be a part of it. And one guy was from he was like one of the heads of accounting for all of CBS's finances, and he was like, "I'll do it." And I'm like, "Fuck yeah, baby!" And he was a guy that like.
He's just squirting mustard on you. and-
Literally, he was like, "I'm game," and so like I just rubbed his face, and I was like, "This guy pays my checks. I should probably be like
This is
very
the guy
careful."
that is in charge
Literally,
of my well-being.
there's so many funny situations that happened in that shot, but it was
so
a great time.
Funny, man. It's funny how like sets are too. They're not
Oh yeah,
as crazy professional as you think they are a lot of the time. I mean, obviously on Disney they are in certain shows, but like
yeah.
I think that's really cool.
What is the most wild set experience either of you have had? Most insane, like you're like, I can't tell if I'm having the time of my life or I have to go and call the cops.
I think this actually wasn't confusing at all. This is a really cool moment for me. Before I signed my record deal, I was working with like literally no budget. Everybody was doing favors. I'd have friends shoot it, crews of 2 to 3 people and me. And the videos are cool. Like I'm super stoked I did that. When I signed my deal, all of a sudden I had a budget to do a video. So, and not just like a little budget, like a real budget for once. So we had
How much? How much?
How much money do you
yeah,
make
how much
overall,
money did
do
you
you
make?
think?
Yeah, that's
in
like in the
Madison's-
millions,
Yeah,
trillions probably.
It was probably $1 trillion budget for just that video.
Fuck yeah.
For Madison's podcast, the whole time we were like, so second Jumanji compared to the first, how much you make?
Yeah, like just in percentages, even like
Yeah.
a percentage more or a percentage less.
But I would always phrase it like, okay, and that. So like, if you had to like it was gonna be a real question. If you had to like How much is in your bank account right now?
Yeah. Just like just a rough estimate. Be gross or net.
Which tax bracket are you in?
Yeah.
That's
I'll do the math.
Do you get 50% taken out or 75% taken out?
Or
like, do they just no longer, do you have Panamanian accounts that are just tracked?
Islands.
Yeah, you have a whole island.
all of your assets.
Actually,
are
I think
land.
that's in The Rock's contract on Jumanji. For every movie he does, he gets a new island in like the Philippines or something.
This comes with the people.
Side
too.
note,
Yeah.
I watched The Force Awakens and Han Solo. I was like, how much did he make for this? Because this motherfucker had to get paid a lot for this.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't come back for anything. He's literally Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
So I looked it up. I thought like maybe 5-6 million. It not only was it $25 million for the movie.
Oh my god.
It was 0.5%
Whatever
of
they make.
2.1 billion.
That dude has so much fuck you money.
Like on top
What's-
of the 25 million. You're
on
saying?
top.
Oh my God.
What is 0.5 of 2 billion? It's like 80 million, right? It's like it's something.
What's 0.5% of 2.1 billion?
Yeah. We're doing
This is
some-
exciting.
Okay. So 10.5
Nice.
mil. So
Nice.
he made $36 million. He made an extra just 10 million.
Plus, by the way, he makes percentages off of every Han Solo figure or poster or any of the franchising.
Yeah.
I knew the guy that did the licensing for that company.
What's
And
the largest license? It has to be the biggest.
It is
Star
hands
Wars
down
is number
biggest
one.
franchise.
That was the
that's
biggest
it.
movie of all time, right? Like that
Oh,
broke
yeah.
all the Avatar, Titanic.
Well, now it's Avengers, but
Yeah, Avengers Endgame.
Because that actually beat the Avengers before. But I
is
feel like
insane.
the next Star Wars in like 2030 is going to beat that one.
Oh,
It's
it's
gonna
gonna be so wild.
I know.
You know, Keanu Reeves is attached to the new Star Wars.
Oh my lord!
I'm so
I hope
excited.
this is John Wick and he's just there.
I want him to be
Like a
John
space
Wick with a
helmet on.
lightsaber, and then he just pulls out a 9mm and just starts shooting people, and you're like,
Dude.
"Oh my god, John Wick!"
This is an unpopular opinion, but I still have to finish the story that I was on my set. But I loved the Phantom Menace, and I love Qui-Gon Jinn. I love Liam Neeson.
Dude, who doesn't
Liam
love Qui-Gon
Neeson.
Jinn?
So I think Keanu Reeves is going to be a similar, like, wise Jedi. guy.
Yeah,
Has to
absolutely.
be. Has to be.
Shitty side note, but I was trying to write the old Republic like a teaser script, so I could go pitch it to.
Before Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, Anakin.
Yeah, exactly. It goes way back, and there's this cool
it can go
character
back for as long as we
called.
want it to go.
Oh yeah, 100%. But there's a cool character in there, and I think Keanu Reeves is attached to play him. His name's called Revan.
Oh, they're going
And
to do
he-
before.
Way before.
Oh, cool.
I think this is the rumor mill. But I wanted to play Revan, and Keanu Reeves obviously can do whatever the fuck he wants. But I think
He's also
he's
a
too
lot-
old, man. It should have been me.
Well, he's a lot older and wiser, so maybe they're going to make the character older.
They could.
You know?
It would have to take place after his main storyline because he starts out as a young Jedi
What if you do it?
and then becomes a bad guy. He becomes essentially a Darth Vader character, then becomes a Jedi again, and then he dies. His Force ghost becomes good, and his body gets resurrected and becomes evil. It's like
Holy shit.
it's the most sick storyline of all time.
I hope this happens. Anybody who's listening, because this is a big deal.
Also,
wild.
just call me up. I'm ready to do it myself if Keanu turns it down.
There you go.
Yeah, or you could become Keanu. You guys don't look that different to where.
But he's
you and-
ageless. He hasn't aged since he was 12.
True. Yeah, he's like 50 now, and he looks fantastic.
God, I just want whatever genetics he
Paul
has.
Rudd as well.
Oh my God, those two guys.
It's not what I thought you were gonna say.
Paul Rudd looks.
Yeah.
No, Paul looks great.
30.
I just didn't.
He does.
I wasn't expecting that.
Um.
All right, finish your story.
Finish your story,
Well,
bro.
before I finish that, I do want to thank our
Oh, yeah.
sponsor.
We should thank our sponsor.
I do want to thank SpencerSutherland.BigCartel.com for giving us the number one rated merch in the world. Thank you so much. If you do, I mean, you
Yeah.
guys can probably speak. You guys have
Right.
worn the shirts, the socks.
Definitely.
They're unbelievably comfortable, right?
Shockingly. What do you make that out of like baby fur?
I actually did. This is actually a true story.
What that means,
This is a
but
true fact.
I'm interested.
I am sent all these different kind of T-shirts to try, and I pick out the most comfortable, and that's actually a real fact.
Well, they've been
makes total sense.
an incredible sponsor and
Yeah,
supporter of this podcast.
Oh yeah, they've been amazing.
Really, just in life too.
SpencerSutherland.BigCartel.com. Get your merch now.
Yeah, they also
Please.
they sponsor my Spencer habit.
Yes,
It's true, which is not healthy.
It's not healthy.
it's not.
I just sit there and I just look at pictures of Spencer, and they just send me more pictures all the time.
But you fund my entire career, and for that I thank you.
No, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for the nudes.
You're welcome.
Unrelated.
Set story.
Yes.
Okay, so I make all these videos for next to nothing. Friends help me out.
Like POV videos in your home?
Yes.
Oh, okay, sick.
Yes. Made those two. So I make these videos. And then I sign to a label, and then I have a real budget. So the first moment I was like, holy shit, was my music video for my song Sweater, because we had an entire bowling alley rented out. We had like a 15-person crew. We had catering and wardrobe, and I had never I just had never seen that before. And then all my friends were the extras, and it was the best. And it was a very
It's the greatest way to do it by far.
dude, it was the best.
It's a party.
Yeah,
It's fun and work at the same time.
it was.
But go on.
And no, I mean that's the story. Is like, and also they're a cool label who I'm still with. They let me write my own treatment, so I was able to write the entire treatment, and then they just had a budget to make it come to life, because I'd never thought. I was always writing my treatments inside, like, I can't rent out this, can't do that. Like in this, I was able to be like, I want to fucking bowl.
Yeah.
Let's rent it out.
That's actually great.
Yeah, it was cool.
It's cool to have that perspective too.
And then we had unlimited bowling all day. So when we took breaks, people would just go bowl.
Dude, that's fantastic.
It was dope.
That's
It was
really
real
the
fun.
reason why you did it.
Yo, people shit on bowling all the time for being like, yo, it's such a dumb thing. It's such a fun thing to do
Bro,
with your
bowling
friends.
is so fun
Bowling's
still.
great.
People are trash that say that shit. Where I'm like, yo, they're like, what do you want to do? I'm like, I don't know. Maybe we go watch a movie or go bowling. And they're like, I fucking hate both those things. I'm
bowling?
like, cool. I'm never gonna be friends with you again, you freak.
Yeah, that's that.
Like, whoop
You're
their
a
ass.
freak if you don't like
Dude.
bowling, I think.
And it's great because I'm bigger than everyone, so I actually do beat them to
That's
death.
true. Yeah. Oh God. jeez.
What?
Oh, never mind. Never
What
mind.
do you like on your pizza the most?
Meat.
What do you like on your pizza?
Hawaiian baby with bacon.
Do you like mushrooms on your pizza?
Oh, magic mushrooms.
I do.
Okay, good. I would love to talk about mushrooms.
King of the
with you.
segues
Bro,
over
by
here.
the way, that is the most fucking excellent segue. I'm erect off of that segue alone. That was so good. And then you not only did you bring it to mushrooms, but magic mushrooms, which are the best.
Mushrooms.
Mushrooms. Shall we dive in?
I know you really want to talk about
I'm so
mushrooms.
excited.
I really want to talk about mushrooms.
Let's talk about it.
Where do we start?
Can we?
Okay,
We can cut this out. We can cut this out. But you told me a insane story last time we saw each other.
Yeah.
You had some health problems and stuff.
Right.
I don't know if you feel comfortable telling that
I
story.
can totally tell
But
that, yeah.
story blew my mind.
Yeah, it's a really
So-
crazy story.
Okay, so I'll give context quick.
Podcast on a balcony, baby. You get the flames once in a while.
Hold for sound.
Chemtrails.
this is-
Chemtrails.
Mike, we've got an airplane
I'm telling you
dropping
guys.
shit on us right now.
You guys think this is like a problem? This is
what makes it.
This is what lets our podcast stand out from the rest, because we are the only and exclusive podcast on the balcony.
Can you actually hear the birds chirping in the background on your podcast?
Not really.
The
but-
mics are directional and they just pick
Yeah,
up.
they're super directional.
There's a couple plugins you can put where it cuts things
You
out.
really
too,
can't
so.
hear much though.
That's true.
There was a helicopter on one of them that was not very high, and that was mega loud.
Oh,
But-
jeez.
But it's part of the magic, dude.
Yeah.
Magic mushrooms. Oh, transition.
there it
Now I'm the
is.
transition king. Okay, so back a year ago in late February, I believe it was, I had gotten really sick because I was shooting a show, came back, flew out for a premiere, went to Coachella, flew back up to Washington for some business up there with my family. Flew back down, had another thing happen, and I pretty much was I was barely sleeping, and then I got really, really sick. So my immune system was fucked. And I went into the urgent care, and I was like, look, I don't have time for this. I have so much happening right now. I just need you to give me whatever antibiotic I need to rock and roll. So they did their test, and they're like, you have a sinus infection. We're not sure what bug it is, but just let's give you some clindamycin and rock out with our cock out. And I was like, sick, let's go.
Please put your penis away. I don't
Yeah.
really want to see that.
I was like, oh, you didn't mean that literally.
Oh yeah.
fuck.
Tuck it back in.
Oh, we're gone, dude.
Push it back into your body.
Push it back in. It's like a belly button. Now it's permanently back in, by the way. I actually
Lucky.
You're a
inverted
eunuch.
it. I'm a eunuch, yeah.
Nice.
Somebody's got to cut it
burden, I
off.
bet.
Yeah.
Penises are such a waste of time,
Okay, so
man.
penis is pushed in.
Penis is pushed in. Start taking the antibiotic. We get some. Wow, this is great.
This is when's lunch, dude.
So I'm penisless and just taking this clindamycin. Well, I still have a penis. It's just inside some of the belly button at this point.
Let's not get it twisted. You have a penis.
I still have the peen. I just pushed it in.
yeah.
I just love how it's just like just rolling around. So my penis is pushed in. So I take these drugs and
Yo, by the way, look at that sunset though.
yeah, it
Just
looks really pretty over there.
crisping. We got the dark skies and that little sunset.
I'm telling you, man.
That's great.
This is what we do it at this time for lighting, but it also just is a great vibe.
It's a dope
Good
vibe.
time.
So I get on the I get on
Penis is pushed
penis
in.
is pushed in.
And I'm ready to rock and roll.
You're taking this antibiotic.
I take the antibiotic, and I told him before, I was like, hey, I'm allergic to penicillin. If this is
I can't stop laughing.
we're not even on mushrooms or weed right now.
I know.
We didn't even drink.
I'm really
we
trying.
had coffee. I mean, that's its own drug.
Yeah.
By the
You're
way,
rocking and rolling.
I'm also allergic to penicillin.
Oh, okay.
So
So
I've-
you get it.
Yeah.
Do you get like throat swelling up, or do you just get like you feel like
It only
death?
happened to me once, and I learned the hard way that that's how I found out that
Yeah,
I was
no,
allergic to
that's
penicillin.
They
Yeah,
don't
I
have
just
a test
It's
for
the
that.
only way you can find out.
That is
I
literally the only way. Which
this is a non
life and
sequitur
death.
story, but I was literally playing a friend's wedding that day,
Oh, you
and I
Jesus.
went the night before because I was mega sick. And I was like, I don't want to be mega sick, so I can play my friend's wedding.
Mhm.
So they penicillined me.
Yeah,
That's a verb now.
makes sense.
And woke up the next morning and was like probably 2 inches
Ooh,
more.
yikes!
And I wasn't gonna go back. I wasn't gonna go back to the urgent care because I didn't want to freak out my friend and
Right.
tell her like, hey, I'm. So luckily I did because they were like, yeah, your throat would have closed
Whoa,
Oh my
if you
Lord,
wouldn't
dude.
have
No.
come back. So,
So
that's
scary.
fucking awful.
so luckily I did. It was fine. Doesn't matter. Point
Yeah.
being, your penis is stuck.
My penis is tucked in. I start taking the clindamycin.
If you haven't stopped listening by now, I'm sure you will.
At this point, you're fully engaged.
you're in.
You're like,
Well, you
how did he tuck his
You're
penis
halfway
in?
through the bottle, or you just start taking it.
So I'm 1, 2, now I'm on 3 days into it. And
Okay.
but at this point I'm feeling worse. So I
Yeah.
call the doctor and I go, hey, I feel significantly worse now that I'm on the clindamycin. And they were like, well, you could be just suffering some of the side effects. We'd prefer that you don't stop the cycle. It's a 10-day cycle that they
Right.
had me on, and it was at the highest dose. Because you'll build up an antibiotic resistant bacteria, which is essentially what COVID-19 is in a way, because we don't have any antibiotics to fight it. It's not
Right.
resistant, but I would have built up my own version of that.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, well, I'll keep taking it. And they're like, but call us back if it gets worse. And I was like, okay. 7 days in, I'm like, it's worse. And so I call them and I'm like, something's wrong. Something is very wrong. And at this point now, I'm passing out. I'm blacking out.
Daily?
Daily. Well, at minutes, hours, depend at any point. And now I'm forgetting. I'm having memory problems as well and speech problems. And so now I'm really struggling to figure this all out. And I call him and I'm like trying to put sentences together and I'm trying to figure it out. And finally I go in and I was like, something's really wrong. And they're like, stop taking it. And they're like, just write it out. Just stop taking it.
Write out the feelings that you're feeling.
Yeah. No, wait, sorry. That didn't happen. Oh fuck. This is the problem. This is the weird part.
This is why you're like not sure, because you.
Yeah. I had
Yeah.
called them again. They said I never went in. This is the part where I would have to pull out my notes because I had to write it all down. I never went in. I called them. And they're like, oh yeah, stop taking it. But I was already 7 days deep on a 10-day cycle. And the damage had been done at this point. And now I was suffering the consequences, but it became this thing, and it's called, I went into 3 different doctors. One said he thought I had allergies. I told him to fuck off. Another said, what did the other doctor say? Oh, it's probably allergies. So I told him to fuck off. And I finally found another doctor. This is like 3 weeks later, and now I'm blacking out consistently. I'm passing out. I'll end up on the floor and I'll have no idea what's happened for like the last few hours. You and I could be having a conversation, and within seconds, I will forget where I am, who I am, and our conversation entirely, and I'll have a panic
How long
attack.
would it take you to recover, like to know who you are? A few minutes, like. A few
I
seconds?
could gather information about myself within a few minutes, but actually, so what started happening is my
That's
brain
terrifying.
was regressing, and so I was actually going through what would essentially be known as post-antibiotic delirium, which is, it resembles Alzheimer's and dementia. So as it goes on, you get worse, and you slowly lose short-term and long-term memory entirely. Now, thankfully, I'd stopped the cycle of the antibiotic, and I I was supposed to be in some sort of recoverative stage, but nobody had diagnosed what was going on yet. So I was freaking out because I was like, I've lost my mind. And that is actually what happened.
Yeah.
I was clinically mentally stunted. And so I finally, it was like 3 weeks had gone by. I'd been trying to get appointments to see doctors and specialists because in any given moment, I couldn't remember who I was.
At this point, are you back with your parents?
No, I'm still in LA.
Are you just like watching TV and eating and surviving?
Pretty much, yeah.
Because you can't do much.
Well, I'd lost a lot of weight. I hadn't been outside.
You can't work out.
Yeah, well, I could forget that I was lifting a weight, and they could come back down and kill me.
You can't do that.
Did you have like anxieties about like worrying that was going to happen, or did you not even have like
I couldn't
the know-it-all to know that it was about to happen?
I didn't know enough to know that I could have anxiety about that.
Yeah.
The only anxiety I could have was that I was going to be this way permanently, and every time my mind reset, it was like Groundhog's Day.
Dude, this sounds like a nightmare to me.
This literally is a nightmare.
This was
so
my
insane.
nightmare from childhood, outside of drowning in the ocean.
Yeah.
That's big
another
child. Yeah.
Random childhood nightmare that never ever happened. But it was losing my mind and not being me anymore. And I became virtually a human vegetable, not in the joking sense of the word, but I was a processing information very, very slowly. And everything was
telling
resetting.
you too that it's like too bad, so sad? Like this is just gonna happen?
Yeah.
Oh
well,
my God.
nobody had diagnosed anything, so I still didn't know. And finally, my friend Derek Augustine came over, who I'd done the football movie with years ago.
Okay.
Comes over, he's like, and he lives down the street from me. We hang out like all the time. One of my best friends, and he's like, bro, I haven't heard from you in 3 weeks. What is going on? And he looks at me because I just opened the door. He's like, I've been calling you, I've been texting you, and I go, who are you? And he just walks in. He's like, bro, what the fuck is going on? And I'm like, oh my God, Derek. And he was like, I'm taking you to the hospital. So he puts me in his car. And so this is the weird part. The only major memories, most of it feels like I had a dream, and it's all fairly non-lucid. He comes over, he takes me to the hospital, and I only have my notes, my somewhat dreamlike memories, and my stories that I hear from friends of what it was like. And he takes me in the car and he's like, bro, you were saying things and you tried to jump out of the car while we were on the freeway. He's like, you made zero fucking sense.
You have no memory of this?
Barely.
Yeah.
I remember him coming over and taking me to the hospital. So I told him to take me to my neurologist, and I sat down in there, and my neurologist was like, what are you doing here? And I was like, I don't know. Something's wrong. And he was like, okay. So he starts like doing all these tests, and this is the neurologist that's helped me for years with my insomnia. So he has a good record of me. And I stand up and I black out on him, and him and the nurse in the room like catch me and hold me up, and they're like, oh shit, something's really bad. So I was having syncope where my heart rate would spike to like 100 to 120 beats a minute, and as soon as I'd stand up, it dropped to like 40 to 50. And so
my God.
Blackout heavy.
But I assume the first thing that everybody's thinking is like brain tumor.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
like the first like natural thing.
Exactly.
When you black out and when you pass out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he quickly, we got into CAT scans, EKGs, EEGs.
Nothing.
2 week EKG, a 2
They're
week
like, why is your
EEG.
penis
Why is your
in
penis still
body?
tucked in?
That's really not helpful.
Just please
Sorry.
push that back out. So I held my breath, pulled my nose and my ears, and I pushed out my penis via air. It's an
Impressive.
ancient Tibetan technique of penis pushing.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said it.
That was the time.
That was the time.
I'm so deep in this.
My bad. Okay.
And so I'm sitting there with the neurologist, and he's like, okay, here's what I do know. Your blackouts are very much likely related to brain trauma. And he's like, so what did you do? I was like, I got on a antibiotic. He was like, you're allergic. And I was like, nice. Wish I would have known that before. And so we went back through the list of everything. He's like, I'm taking you off all sleep medications. I'm taking you off everything that we have had you on previously, just to eliminate any possibility. And it all kept progressively getting worse. So over like the next 2 weeks, we did all these tests, brain tumor tests, heart problems, arrhythmia, EKG. I wore this tube on my head that looked like a fucking shitty Avatar movie. And it mapped all of my brain waves for the next 2 weeks. And then I had a heart monitor that did the same thing. And finally, I had been doing some research of what lucid brain I did have left. And I ran across this thing called post-antibiotic delirium. And that's what it was. And I told him about it, and he was like, I can't believe I didn't think of that. He's like, that's absolutely what's going on. He's like, it usually only happens in elderly and retired patients. You have to be like 80 years old.
What the fuck?
Yeah, he's like, you're like the first case I've ever heard of happening at this age.
I was gonna say, because I've taken antibiotics countless times and I've never even heard about that.
Yeah. Well, there's these
You're allergic,
crazy stories of antibiotics that have literally paralyzed people, and they had to do a class action lawsuit. And it's a whole other side story, but I found this out and I was just like, this is fucked. So I was like, so what do I do to recover? He's like, we're going to get you on a regimen of supplements and vitamins that we know work for nootropic growth. We're going to get you on sleeping pills that do help you consistently, and as well anything else that could potentially help. And he's like, the main thing that you can do is sleep and exercise and diet. Keep those things all very strict and regimented. And then on top of that, we'll see whatever else helps. But at this point, you have to remember, I'm having seizures. He's like, we finally found out that I was having seizures, and that's why I was blacking out so much. And like,
Gotcha.
I would end up on the floor, and that causes more brain damage and blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah,
the
blah.
seizures will.
Yeah.
You don't remember anything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, rip you up.
I have like photos of me just staring at a mirror. I think I stared at a mirror for like 4 hours, and I couldn't figure out who I was looking at for like 4 hours straight. And I was like, who's this?
So
Why do you
insane.
have photos of that?
Because I had to take a picture because I thought somebody else was actually looking at me.
Oh shit! I gotta
Yeah.
see that after this.
It's weird. It's weird photo to look at. For me, it is, because I remembered this moment specifically.
I was gonna say, do you have any videos from this time of like friends taking videos of you like
I might.
confused or something?
I might. I mean, I told my two roommates that I was like, if I have a seizure in front of you, you have to put it on camera. I was like, obviously, roll me out, make sure that I'm not choking on my tongue or anything like that. But outside of that, don't touch me. Let me have the seizure.
We need to see what's happening.
Yeah, the doctors have to know because they need it live time.
Right.
By that point, I was already off the antibiotics, so the relative seizures I had, I was on my own in my room. I can't just like, I'm having a seizure, friend. Come on in.
Hey,
This is the moment. So for the next 3 months, we played recovery, but I lost the vast majority of my long-term and short-term memory. So I couldn't remember anything. I couldn't have a conversation. To this day, I still have some minor. I'd say I'm like 98% back.
Gotcha.
This is about a year and a half later.
That's pretty good.
A year later. Yeah, it's pretty. It's solid.
That's pretty amazing that you got that far
Yeah.
back.
So
Why?
why? Well. Let's get to the real
want to
stuff.
know why. I want to know why it wasn't like
Permanent. Because the doctor was like, look, it's 50-50. You're either going to get it all back, or you could keep regressing, and this could get consistently worse, and you're going to be a vegetable for the rest of your life. You just have to be comfortable.
Can you
knowing
imagine
that.
hearing that, dude?
Yeah.
How fucking fucked would that be?
But he's
can't believe that.
He's like, I can't tell you that this might not be a possibility. And I was like,
as a doctor they have to. I've gotten some weird stuff like that too, where he's like, hey, we need to make sure that there's not a tumor. I'm like,
yeah. Oh, totally.
But he's like, sorry, I just like,
yeah.
most likely you don't have it. I just got to.
We have to narrow it down.
We have to say it.
And he's like, but the best thing is if you have anxiety about it, it stops your brain from actually like recovering. So don't feel scared if you're not recovering right away. That just takes time.
Yeah.
So we set the stage, and I began recovery. So I got really consistent with like going on walks, and I could usually only walk like a few steps before I'd get really lightheaded and pass out. So I kept it in the house for the first part. Then I'd walk like to the stop sign when I started getting enough better. But eventually I started exercising more because I listened to Joe Rogan's podcast on intermittent fasting and all this other stuff. Then it releases BDNF in your brain, which helps you grow neurons. And that is very necessary.
Right.
Then I got into like supplements, and I talked to my brother, who's also in med school right now.
Cool.
He was super helpful on this journey. So we got on like tyrosine and tryptophan and 5-HTP and the usual suspects of that sort of thing, and like vitamins and nutrients. Lion's mane, reishi mushroom, chaga, cordyceps.
I had a chagachino today.
Ooh, chagachino, baby.
Delicious.
They're fucking fantastic. That's
From
the real deal.
Alfred's.
Yeah, and so I listened to Joe Rogan's podcast with Paul Stamets on it. And Paul Stamets went into his whole spiel on nootropics via mushrooms and how some of the best results in a lab outside of like Adderall or other stuff like that with like helping your brain activity was through mushrooms. But the specific stuff that they saw was when you are on, was it chaga, lion's mane, cordyceps, it's all great, but with magic mushrooms, psilocybin specifically,
Right.
it actually stimulates new neural growth in a huge way. And so I was like, oh my God, this is the moment. This is what I've been waiting for. This is the news that I have to hear to stimulate most of the neurons that I have lost. Because the doctor was like, you have to now, because I was doing cognitive behavioral therapy, speech therapy, and physical therapy now at this point to recovery.
Wow.
And so he said, you need to do all of this stuff regimentedly. Do not give up on any of it. Otherwise you won't recover.
Even if you feel like it's not doing anything, continue.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And speech therapy was hard. I still don't, there's a lot of words that are like on the tip of my brain, but I have to look them up and I relearn them at this point.
Dude, I feel like I do that a lot.
Yeah, it's like that, but imagine it's like that, but then with your entire vocabulary.
Right. And then now you're just like relearning these words.
It's so stupid. It pissed me off for like the better part of 6 months. But yeah, and then having to learn to go from a walk to a run as well. Like that was a transition I couldn't actually make.
Yeah.
There's a lot. I have notes on it, but this is a very long-winded version of this. But anyways, I got on to that, and I talked to my neurologist. He's like, I can't tell you to take it because that's illegal. But I can say that we are doing studies at Johns Hopkins and a few other places, and we are seeing results in that stage.
He's being a homie.
He's being a total homie, and he's like, I can't, again, legally, that's illegal. But I will say that they are seeing good results in those sectors.
Wow.
And
He's
so, wink, wink, I was like, sweet, I'm on it. So I got on magic mushrooms. And now
Did you let him know that you're on it?
No, because then he'd probably have to report it.
Because then he has to.
Yeah, exactly. I hope he doesn't listen to this.
He might.
He might. That's fine, actually. What's
If
up,
he's
bro?
like a big fan of balcony podcasts.
Yeah,
then he
he's
would-
like really
he-
famous
like
podcasts.
Penis is being pushed in.
Yeah,
and like he
yes.
might,
Or like really attractive guys. you
really
know?
attractive dudes just chilling in their red pants.
Thank you very much.
What about blue pants? Do you think?
But yeah, I got on magic mushrooms. Sorry, blue pants, bro. We're blue, green, and red. We're like the Christmas duo right now. Even though it's-
Psilocybin.
Psilocybin.
Psilocybin pants.
Psilocybin pants. But I started seeing significant regrowth in my brain.
Like within, we're talking microdosing.
I was microdosing, and my buddy had picked me up because he knew what was going on. Another buddy of mine. And he's like, I'm taking you to Yellowstone, and we're taking mushrooms, and we're going to go do them in Yellowstone. Sorry, not Yellowstone, Yosemite.
Gotcha. Oof.
And
Beautiful.
beautiful place. And so I went up there, and I couldn't function. And we took them, and it was the first coherent conversation after taking it was like a 3-gram dose of mushrooms that I'd had in 3 months. The first
Did
one.
you cry?
Dude, yeah, I was really emotional.
I bet you just be like,
I don't blame you at
holy
all. That's gotta be
shit.
incredibly feeling.
Felt wild. So that from that point on, I started microdosing 3 days a week, and then I still microdose like once a week. But it's single-handedly one of the, outside of therapy, cognitive behavioral, all of it. That is one of the biggest progressives in my journey of
So
brain
crazy.
recovery was psilocybin.
I remember for about
That's anecdotal, obviously. I'm not a scientist, so I'm just a giant idiot, and I'm just saying things. But
right.
Well, I mean, you are.
it was really
that,
cool.
I mean, there's
You
no.
literally
That's
are a
so much
walking
proof
example.
there. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
that is amazing. We've talked about this before, but I remember listening to that same Paul Stamets podcast, and that just completely
world.
opened my brain to all of those things. Just thinking about, because I've always been curious and interested in that world and stuff like that, and when I had heard that there was legitimate medical benefits and stuff, and like
Oh, yeah.
that it can be not just the classic party drug, it made me that much more interested, where it's just
Right. I feel like that's so much of the context with
Yeah.
so many party drugs is
Right.
some idiot took it and was like, if I do a lot of this, I'll get me fucked up. And you're not wrong, but also
Right.
most drugs are really good for you
yeah, like
in the right context.
in the right context, most are 100% good for you.
Like-
Like black tar heroin.
But classic
That
good
bad.
drug. Wait, it's not?
No, I said not that bad.
Oh, okay, not
Yeah.
that bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that bad.
Not that bad. Not the worst. Here's one thing I do want to say, and this is why I'm a hyper logical human being. I'm very analytical. I think that our stigma of drugs actually keeps us from inventing, cures and things like that. If we get so caught up on the stigma, rather than saying, okay, like for instance, Adderall is actually the same chemical compound as meth. It's missing a single carbon chain.
It's crazy, dude.
But they know that when you do it in a smaller dose than what the addicts do, you actually have medical benefit. Same with heroin. That's actually, most sleeping pills is a form of heroin.
I just have so many friends who are on Adderall, and I remember in high school kids that were like addicted to it, and I was like, this is the same shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's crazy.
Coffee,
dude.
Caffeine. It's a drug.
I always talk
our
about
stigma.
that.
Is it legal drugs? Is it compounds?
Right.
What are we talking about as far as drugs go?
It's
all
crazy
of it's
too.
a drug.
The most obvious example is marijuana, because like where people are starting to kind of understand,
come around to it. Yeah,
dude. Even like I want to give my dad a huge shout out, because my dad, like, my dad was never like no weed, but he definitely just like just wasn't into it.
Yeah,
ever.
Right.
And over the last few years, partially because I've been out in California, and also because he's a very like he doesn't just like listen to the news, he researches and stuff.
Yeah.
And he actually went through a couple of health things and like discovered like the hemp plant and like the benefits of marijuana, and like although he's not a smoker himself, his whole opinion's changed on it.
Oh yeah, CBD with seizures. That's actually something that I got onto.
Yeah.
Dude.
With when I was having seizures with CBD.
And that's it, man. And it's just like people like that, where like it doesn't matter if you're not Gen Z or millennials or whatever. Like if you can change your opinion on stuff like that, I think that changed the world.
Absolutely.
That's really cool. That your dad is.
Oh, it's so cool. Even my mom was like starting to like understand, like, because when I first brought up CBD, she's like, "Oh, that's pot," and I'm like, well,
right.
Well, also let's be real here. Alcohol is a very like widely used drug.
I use that argument.
Cigarettes like that.
Dude, cigarettes and
so
alcohol
much worse.
kills
so many people. Also, when was the last time you heard of a guy getting on freaking weed?
That guy
smoking
died.
that blunt and he just beat the shit out of somebody? No. I'm sorry.
That
Alcohol.
guy died from weed.
Yeah. Oh, never.
His weed overdose.
Not possible.
That dude had a panic attack. I can't actually smoke weed, but I'm a huge proponent of it.
Right. Yeah.
And I love it, dude. Like I have friends that are total addicts, and so I discourage them. But like as a whole, come on,
dude, it's
keeps people from like doing dumb shit like alcohol.
It makes you want to watch
encourages you to
Star
do.
Wars backwards.
Dude,
Yeah.
yes.
It just makes you want to do like me too. I think that's like the biggest obvious example of
stigma.
Yeah, I've listened to a bunch of podcasts, especially Joe Rogan episodes, where they talk
alchemy, magic mushrooms, and Scientology, baby.
Yeah, dude. Come on, we gotta. If you're thinking,
if you haven't listened to that Joe Rogan Paul Stamets episode, I would highly recommend it, because it is
eye opening.
And if you have not joined the Church of Scientology,
also that
do it immediately.
Well,
oh wait,
Elrond?
Tom Cruise, if you watch, please adopt me. But also, I probably won't be joining Scientology anytime soon.
Yeah, me either.
Side note,
that story is insane, though, dude.
It's
I mean, that is just. I mean, you were literally on the path to vegetable land.
Yeah, I had
vegetable land.
I was on a path to becoming a carrot.
Like actually, though,
literally.
like that's so like
Paul Stamets or Paul Carrot?
Paul Carrot, baby, with my inside out PP.
It's not inside out; it's just in.
It's just
inverted
PP. No, I was.
How can you imagine an inside out?
No, oh god, Jesus, that's just heinous sounding. Your urethra is just hanging outside of itself.
No,
it's just like just meat and spongiest tissue.
Oh.
Love it.
Brain damage. I still have it.
No, I mean seriously, like that is.
Who are you?
I remember on the same topic, like
to go from brain damage to like a somewhat healthy brain.
No, and my dad is. My parents are very liberal people, so they're down for all this kind of stuff.
Down to party.
And, yeah, there's no way of like
down to
saying
clown.
again the stigma.
Did you
thing,
say
like,
they're DTF?
I wouldn't. I'm not going to say that.
Of course, they are down to clown though.
I was a mistake of a human. So, no, but I remember
Sherry, Ron.
That's stop it.
God, they love a shout out. I love you, Sherry. I love you,
No, they're
Ron.
great.
Oh,
They're-
dude, Ron's my dad's name. Wait, is your dad my dad? We both have beards.
Yeah, you're also 2 feet taller than me, so I'm gonna go with no.
Well, we have different moms, so that maybe that
That's
makes
true.
sense.
Is your mom 7 feet?
No, but she is like 5'9", right?
Yeah,
Your
my
mom's
mom.
pretty
Yeah,
tall.
both my mom and dad are. She's 5'10" and he's 6'1".
I loved hanging
wow.
out with your parents, by the way. They're very cool.
They're so dope, right?
They're very cool.
Dude, they loved you. They're like, oh, you gotta have Spencer over more often so we can hang out. I'm like, you guys are never here,
Dude, but I want to go back with you to Washington one time. I am in love with the state.
bro. You should come up. I tell this to all my friends. You guys are always welcome to come up for New Year's. It is the best
sounds
time of
great.
year to be in Washington because we have a huge bonfire
Oh, dude, come on.
Oh yeah.
and we blast
on.
off all the fireworks.
We can't
drink
do
beers.
bonfires here, and I miss bonfires.
Oh, we're totally not allowed to do it. We have the fire department called on us every year, and I just walk out there. I'm like, "What's up, guys?" And they're like, "Why are you doing
were
this
you in
again?"
that commercial where you're eating
You
a
were in
burger?
the fucking burger commercial. What
You're
a
the
piece of
inside
shit,
penis guy.
The Inside Out. I heard you're on the balcony podcast. So, side note, we got on a bunny trail, but I want to dig back into this mushroom thing.
Yes.
What is your craziest trip on mushrooms?
Never done them.
Never done them.
Are you fucking serious?
That's why.
Are you guys living vicariously through my story right
Yeah.
No,
100%.
we're gonna talk about this afterwards because I mean I've literally been interested for years.
Yeah,
But
we have a bunch
I-
of friends who are essentially shamans in that way, are giant mushroom people, and we've like just
This giant mushroom.
kill me.
This is no way to
Eat
live.
my body. You will learn more by eating me.
This podcast has gone to
Just non sequiturs. Constantly.
yeah.
Sorry,
But no, but we have been super interested, and obviously we listen to so much about it and read so much about it that it's like I've never talked to everybody I talk to that does mushrooms it literally changes their life for the better.
It does.
But
I-
yours is like the first that I've
Like a medical change.
story-
I've talked to
is
someone
so
who's
insane.
cured a eating disorder. I've
Wow.
talked to someone who's cured a porn addiction,
Wow.
and someone else. Who,
I still look at porn, so I have no concept of that.
But it's
I
probably
enjoy it,
not
though.
a
it's
thing
not an
that
addiction.
You do 7
Yeah.
times a day.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
You're
So
like, yeah,
I
definitely not.
I think it's dope that like
I don't have a premium access membership to Pornhub. What are you talking about?
free right now.
It's free.
It's
dude.
totally free. Is it really?
Yeah, Johnny Sins.
Oh shit! I gotta hook that. Maybe I'll just check that out. Anyways, go on.
No, it's like we have 2 friends, and I told Spencer this. I don't know if I told you this, but I was talking to them about their experiences, and separately, I was not talking to them at the same time. They both told me that they did it and felt an insane empathy increase just within themselves. And this again, they were not together. Like they both told me that separately,
Yeah.
which is really insane to me. That there's just some sort of
I've
there's
heard
an
that from
obvious
everybody, too.
connection
Yeah.
with my best friend told me that he took them sort of with like the neuropathy purpose. He wanted to change himself in a certain way, and he literally told himself before and during, like, yeah, I want to move towards this part of my life. I want to become better at this.
Yeah.
While he was on it, and then he said he came out the other end like
Wow.
much more focused and driven towards that
Same for
changing
me.
that thing in
Yeah.
his life, which is so crazy.
I've literally not heard a lot of bad stuff. So
Yeah.
I think it's such a magical, untouched. Like obviously people do
Therapy.
it, but it is, dude, and people are just gonna start like figuring that out.
I
They're
hope-
starting.
I hope they legalize it. I actually want to get involved with any company that's like doing that stuff and
It's
like
gotta be legalized, dude.
yeah. I mean they made
In
it
the next
legal in
20
San
Colorado,
Diego.
right?
Yeah, they made it legal in a lot of places like Washington State. You can grow your own now. Colorado,
I
San
remember-
Diego is specific because they were doing studies on
Right.
it here. But
Yeah.
California as a whole is illegal. So
It just
specific.
it is weird with that. People fear what they don't know. Like I remember
Totally.
in 6th and 7th grade when like the kids would smoke weed. I was like,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
and now
Oh, same.
people are. It's happening, and I feel it's going to be a similar path. I think
I'd way rather kids smoke weed than a cigarette.
a
So much
billion
more.
percent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just there's so many different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was about to even say, if I had a kid, he's 16, he's gonna drink half a bottle of tequila or smoke a joint. Probably rather him smoke a joint.
Yeah.
100%.
I agree.
Same. I'd rather this kid fucking sit down and want to chill out and watch a movie than
Or
drink
just
alcohol and
have
drive.
a weird freak out instead of
Yeah.
maybe have alcohol poisoning and
Yeah.
die.
Also, anybody that wants to try mushrooms, please do it with somebody that's done it before, knows what they're doing, a safe environment.
Right. A sitter, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because I've done it before in an environment where there was some people that weren't on it. There's too big of a group of people, and I hated it.
Yeah.
Now,
It's got to be like comfortable, I think.
absolutely. I do it with no more than like 4 people.
Yeah.
I try to keep numbers super small. But yeah, it just makes it more fun too. Don't do it on your own. That's kind of lame. I've done that, and I'm like, boo.
Scary.
No, not scary. Not for me anymore.
Boring.
Just less exciting because you have a shared experience that's really fun.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4 people. Yeah.
It's so much fun. We worship the cosmic cat together now.
Perfect.
That's a legitimate thing that
Yeah.
fucking saw in the sky.
Oh, dude. I love stories like that.
Awesome.
Bro, it's so funny. It's
Well, do you have
it's
a
all
bad-
completely
Do you
ridiculous.
have a crazy trip story then? Because you asked us, but we couldn't answer, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah.
But-
I mean, my friends actually had crazier ones than me, but we were all sitting outside it was like we did it after sunset, and so we were staring up at the stars, and of course we all started to see the same thing, which was this cat in the sky. And if somebody says it, then you can start to like get on the same trip with them. So we started focusing on this patch of stars, and we were like, "Oh my god, I see it!" And then it started like moving and wiggling around in the sky, and we're like, "Yeah, there's a cosmic cat." And it's not like the fucking cartoons that you see when people are tripping on acid. It was just like a very loose kind of association. We just all laughed our asses off and said, "We're now the cosmic cat religion," and
Great.
we've made a whole like group text about it. It's fucking hilarious. But
I love that, dude. That's some good.
Oh yeah,
camaraderie right there.
my one buddy said he started melting into the chair that he was sitting in, which I thought was very funny. No, in a bad way. He started going down the bad trip, so we had to like remove him from the chair, but he was stiff as a board, and he was like, "I'm the chair." But my favorite,
I'm the chair.
he's like, "It's too late. I'm the chair." My favorite thing is each person is different. My one buddy gets like super protective and zen on it. I get wild. Like I get really quiet, and then I'll just have these wild bursts of energy, and I'll be like, "Woo!" But otherwise, I'll just start laughing at people. And my other buddy is so fucking talkative on mushrooms. It's insane.
Really?
Oh my god, he won't shut up. And he's like, "Spiders don't care about dollars." And I'm like, "What?"
Oh my god.
We're 3 hours deep on
That
this.
shocked you.
And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, "Think about it. They don't." And I was
They
like,
just crawl around.
"They don't give a fuck about
Good
dollars."
point.
And I'm like, "Fuck, dude, that's shit. High thoughts."
My
You're right though, bro.
this is not unrelated, but a friend of mine has done DMT, which is somewhat related.
Very close, yeah.
I'm not positive it has the same benefits. I have literally no idea. But point being, it's crazy, funny story. He said he took DMT, and what I've understood of that drug, it's you lose your sense of self.
Yeah.
You just become whatever
Oh
is going to
my
happen.
God. I can't imagine. That's what.
I mean, if you can think of it in a positive fashion, but I could also
For sure,
see
I
how
just
that would
can't
not
actually.
be fun.
I can't actually like think about it.
Yeah.
I can't fathom.
But he took it, and he said that he became a nitrogen molecule.
Oh my.
Whoa.
And he wasn't like so and so the nitrogen molecule. He was just the molecule. And he went through the entire photosynthesis process. So he says. And he said that now, just coincidentally, there's no rhyme or reason why it happens, but every once in a while he'll look like at this table and he'll be like, "Oh, there's my friend Oxygen."
Oh my God.
Just like every once in a while,
That's
it'll just
wild.
like kind of come back to him where he's like, "Yeah, I remember like having a friend
I
that
mean,
was Oxygen."
This is not in any way, shape, or form discarding your friend, but do you think that he kind of lost it after doing that?
No, he's an incredibly smart
Human being.
Yeah, one of the smartest people I know.
Do I know him?
Maybe.
I can't trust any of my friends that say that shit.
Yeah.
After that, when they're like, "Oh yeah, now I like see into the fucking fifth dimension," I'm like, I'm so doubtful.
Yeah.
Even unless it's my experience, I'm such a hater for some reason.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just hard to fathom.
Yeah. It's
Like-
wild.
Or
But
they're tripping out and they think
yeah, no, it's
it's just weird. You can't like.
He wasn't trying to like convert me or like
Yeah.
prove anything to me. It was which is why I believe him. It was just a story,
Totally.
and that was it. And
I mean, people
But-
have the wildest experiences on DMT. That's life changing, like your friend. Like,
well, that was the I've heard that story on Rogan. I can't remember who it was, but someone took DMT, and it's about what like 10-15 minutes in
Yeah,
real life,
but it
whatever
feels like an
real life
eternity.
means. And yeah, he said he had a whole family. He was in a situation for 2
it's
years.
like a Rick and Morty episode.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, he had children with a woman
God.
and like another family, and then when he woke up or whatever you want to say, he
3 hours
literally was
later.
like, it was like 10 minutes,
Dude,
and he was like,
ruined your
"Where's
life."
my kids?"
Oh.
And like I think he eventually
got out of it.
grasped reality, but like
It's like that Nicolas Cage movie, The Family Man.
National Treasure. Oh, right.
Oh yeah, the Family Man. What if that was based on a DMT trip, The Family Man?
Kind of was.
Oh my god.
What if National Treasure was based on a DMT trip?
Like how many movies? I mean, we got like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Alice in Wonderland, and any fucking Johnny Depp movie in general.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Pirates of the Caribbean, anything.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Peter Pan, like all
Yeah.
these like old stories were based on like acid trips and shit
Trips,
like
yeah.
that.
That's really not out of the question.
Yeah, I want to
No,
know like how
they
many.
have to be.
Yeah.
Alice in Wonderland, 1,000,000%.
Yeah,
Like, what do you? Where do you come up with that?
acid,
Acid.
Oh, it's so crazy.
National Treasure.
acid.
2.
Star Wars, acid.
I also do want to say National Treasure 1 and 2. I'm a huge.
McMillions, the documentary, acid.
I was trying to think of like.
No, hold on.
That's serious.
I don't want to just fucking roll over National Treasure like that.
Okay, National Treasure, acid.
Hold on.
A fantastic movie. Made a lot of money, by the way. Made hundreds of millions.
Made on acid.
So
You guys don't fucking get Nicolas Cage, do you?
Dude,
no,
Nicolas
no.
Cage peaked on that movie.
I
for sure.
understand
That was like
Nicolas
the
Cage.
peak of his career.
Nicolas Cage, people are like, oh, Nicolas Cage was shitty movies. Nicolas Cage, the fact that you can do,
everything.
yeah, but the fact that you can do like you can act like you're Nicolas Cage and do like a whole impersonation of him means that he has a thing. He's got that thing.
Listen,
Yeah.
we've talked about this before, you and I. I don't know
It's
if
a
you know
talented
about
motherfucking
this.
actor.
But if for anyone watching,
The bees!
If you
All
want-
the bees are in my eyes! Ah!
We're done here.
that was a pretty solid.
That was actually pretty good.
Thank you.
If you want like a half an hour of pure enjoyment, go on the internet and look up what Nicolas Cage blew his fortune on, and it is fucking unfathomable.
I'm
what
100% doing that after this.
I don't want to ruin the experience for you, but one of the things he bought
Yeah, just give one.
is either 2 or 3 cobras for protection. And that it's
Acid.
I'll add one thing to that. He
Yes.
bought an Egyptian stone scroll.
Yep.
He also owns multiple haunted houses. Dude,
I
look
think
this
I
up.
might actually be Nicolas Cage because those are all things that I legitimately want.
The snake one really gets me because it's one thing
For
like
protection.
buying snakes is not out of the question, obviously.
They're cool.
But like
He
that's-
just releases them in his yard and then he's like tells his guests,
So
No, no,
be careful.
I
there
really-
might
no,
be a
I
snake
swear to
in there.
God, I think his bodyguards, like probably at the height of National Treasure when he was super famous, would literally carry around snake cages. And they'd be like, "Yeah, don't fuck with Nicholas, because like we will release this cobra on you."
I would just
Can you imagine how crazy is that?
the most ridiculous way to protect yourself rather than like a gun with a security guard with a gun, right?
Yeah.
He's like, no, hold on, I gotta grab my snake. Rob me in a second.
Rob me in
Also,
a
yeah, like
second.
the bodyguards were probably huge, so it's like if he ran into a problem, like, I don't think the bodyguards are gonna take the time to like
Right.
handle the snake and get it out.
So ridiculous.
Crazy.
like-
He's an interesting guy, dude. And
It's so crazy.
Do you think that Nicolas Cage's new movie that's similar to Being John Malkovich, where there's a bunch of John Malkoviches, but Nicolas Cage is playing himself?
I
in a
read
new
about this. I read about
movie
This. Yeah.
is going to be fucking amazing, or what?
100%, and I will see it the first day it comes out
Absolutely,
because I'm a huge fan. But even if I wasn't, dude, I would see that. It sounds so interesting.
dude. I don't even know what to expect, but I'm like, it's gonna be.
Right.
He's gonna win an Oscar.
So I
He's
can't
gonna win
wait.
an Oscar.
It's gonna be so wild.
He is so due for an Oscar. The dude just cranks out terrible and great shit all at the same
Well,
time.
the whole reason he cranked out a bunch of terrible shit in
He
that,
had to pay those bills for all the things that he bought.
that's what it was. That's literally
I'm not
what it was.
kidding. It really is.
Oh,
I
my
remember he did-
cobras!
What was that movie where he became the superhero with the head on fire, the skull on
Ghost
fire?
Rider.
Oh, Ghost Rider.
Ghost
yeah.
Rider. He did like that actually wasn't that bad, but he did
Yeah, I enjoyed the first
a
one.
bunch like that
Yeah.
in a row, and like even like cheaper movies.
Yeah.
And
Did you guys see Mandy that he was in?
yes,
I loved the aesthetic of the movie. The movie
great
was
aesthetic.
so fucking terrible.
Is it
as
the
a whole.
pedophile movie?
No, maybe it was the one where it was like his wife goes missing and she gets dragged into this demonic motorcycle gang and
Not that.
Oh my
Not what
God,
I'm
dude,
thinking of.
it's so fucking
I think
ridiculous.
I'm thinking of the movie Hard Candy.
Hard. I never seen it.
I've never seen that one.
Basically, I don't even think he's in it, but this
Star Wars,
this
perhaps?
pedophile basically like captures this girl,
Yeah.
and then he has her in the house, and he's about to do some shit to her, and she just fucking fucks him up, and it's awesome.
That's great.
Yeah, it's cool.
That sounds dope. I have to write that down.
It's hard to watch.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
uncomfortable scenes that you see.
A lot of shit she does to him. It's
Ooh.
Damn.
Yeah, it's just you really gotta look. We'll look it up after this. It's hilarious the things that he bought. But,
I'm so gonna do that.
Cannot wait. Not to change gears quickly. How has your quarantine been?
Quarantine's been surprisingly good. There's a few things that have been interesting. I booked the biggest movie I've ever booked in my life.
Really? Congrats.
Yeah, I'm super stoked about it. I can't say what it is yet.
Great.
I know what it is.
You do know what it is.
I do.
I told
we
you.
share an acting manager.
That is right. Yes.
I'm excited.
And
to
I-
find
Very
out.
excited.
And I know all the details, and it's
Dude.
very large, and it will change your life.
Bro, it's 100%. My life
Congrats,
will never
man. I
be
didn't
the same
know.
after this.
This is exciting.
I hope that the studio doesn't come down and be like, "Oh, we heard you talking about mushrooms on the balcony podcast that we love, you
Right.
fucker.
Is your penis out or in?
Is it out or in? We gotta know. We got a nude scene coming up."
Never mind.
I know. I had a bunch of jokes too. I'll save them for after.
No, save them for now.
You don't want to hear it.
All right, fine.
No one else wants to hear it either.
Yeah, so it's been good. I mean,
Good.
but also it's given me a lot of time to reflect and like clear out physically my life and emotionally a lot of things that were unimportant that I was caring about. I had a family member that passed away in the midst of quarantine.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And it was shitty. They're older, so we kind of expected it. He'd fallen. It was my grandfather. He'd fallen and broken his neck and nose and went into the hospital, which is like awful.
Yeah.
And this was 3 weeks ago. And so we were all kind of like prepped for that moment. And then he passed away about a week and a half ago. We had the funeral on FaceTime, which was very surreal. And like,
Dude, I'm sorry, man.
It's terrible.
it's awful, but I think it's something that's important to talk about. And for, whenever you do post this podcast, that people need to understand that it's okay to talk about, death, because that's a very relevant thing right now.
100%, dude. There's more people dying than if this wasn't a thing.
Absolutely. And so I think, that gave me a lot of perspective on like having a lot more, like you automatically have empathy for anybody that has somebody that passes away.
Yeah.
But I think something else to talk about for people that don't know what to do or what to say is ask them, rather than, "Hey man, did that suck?" You go, "Well, yeah, fucking duh fucking suck, you dummy."
Yeah.
But I think a conversation starter for people that, if you want to have a conversation there and feel empathetic towards them, try and ask them who they were as a person. What's your favorite memory?
Oof.
What's your worst memory? What's a memory that you have that you love and enjoy?
Not how it is. Does it feel?
Yeah, does it suck?
Does it suck that he's dead? Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. That's
And-
such a good way to look at it, dude.
Right. And
Yeah.
it opens up the conversation without either party feeling like they have nothing to talk about or say. Because I feel desperately uncomfortable bringing it up to friends.
Yeah.
Because nobody knows how to talk about it and becomes this fucking downer of a conversation. And it is. Like, I still it'll hit me in waves. I'll just start crying about it and be like, I just lost my grandpa.
Yeah.
Bro,
It sucks.
I know. Yeah.
Have you lost somebody as well?
I lost both my grandpas. It's been probably 10 years now,
Mhm.
but yeah,
Yeah.
after a while, everything gets better after a while, but
Totally.
after a couple weeks, be fine for like 3 days, and then I'd be like, oh, fuck, he's not there.
Yeah.
Fuck.
You just have this moment of like, yeah.
Yeah.
You
And
can never
it passes.
never
everything
hug him,
passes.
never talk to him again.
Yeah.
It's all that.
Fucking brutal.
Yeah, it's savage and it sucks. But I think it is important to talk about because people are losing loved ones every day right now.
What is your favorite memory you have with your grandfather?
I have a few random ones. My grandfather.
Give me a funny one.
Okay. My grandfather, just context, he was fairly intense. He was very angry. Like I say this in the kindest of ways because we're remembering him for what he was, not. Yeah. Anyways, he was fairly abusive to my dad and his brothers. But as he got
Gotcha.
older, he became less physically aggressive and more emotionally just aggressive. But he was so like pretty solid to us grandkids. Like he always had the caramel candies that old people always gave you.
Of course.
Why the fuck did their whole generation have caramel candies? That's what I want to know.
So where are they getting them?
Where the fuck? I can't find them anywhere, man.
I wasn't really that mad. I kind of like those.
Dude, I love
They're
those
great.
things.
They're so good. They're warm.
They're warm. They're
Just like in my grandma's purse.
Just
all the
mushy.
time. Now he always had it in his pocket, so I knew it was like hella warm. He was
Thigh meat.
heavy. He was severely obese. But one of my favorite memories was, this is as a cumulative thing. He took me to McDonald's breakfast and Jack in the Box breakfast all the time. Fast food. We weren't allowed to have fast food as kids, but he always knew he wanted it.
Yeah.
And he ate it every day for every meal. And he took us there. And I loved going there with my grandpa to have, fast food, like a breakfast sandwich from McDonald's.
It was like a little cheat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was an experience.
Yeah.
It was like Disneyland with grandpa,
Right, yeah.
And I get to keep that memory. And one of my scariest memories of him, which is hysterical now, was we were airsofting in our shops on the farm, me and like 5 or 6 buddies. And he walks in the middle of us airsofting on a weekend when everybody's supposed to be gone. He goes, "What the hell are you guys doing in here?" And I go, "Grandpa, we're airsofting." And I go, "What are you up to, you old fart?" And he, for some reason, that comment got him ragingly mad, enraged. And I was like,
You're trying to be cool in front of your friends.
dude, 100%. And he was like, "Fuck you, you disrespectful, you piece of shit. Get the fuck over here." And I'm like 13 at this point. I'm like,
Right.
"Oh shit, Grandpa's gonna kill me." So I start hauling ass. I've never seen a 350-pound man run so
350?
fast. Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh, he's a big dude.
He was.
Oh,
he
your
was
dad, if he catches
hefty.
you, too.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. He was round. And he lost a few inches of height as the older he got and the wider he got.
Right. You kind of
Yeah, like
Yeah.
oof, poor guy. I feel bad. I feel terrible. But
Rest in
he
peace, man.
fucking sprinted. I'd never seen him jog, more let alone waddle. And he sprinted his fucking ass off to try and beat the shit out of me.
You ran
And
away?
I was booking. I was hauling cheeks, and my friends were like, "Run!" And I sprinted, and I barely made it into the house, which was adjacent to the shops. Locked the door, and I just hear him bang, 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 bang. "Get your fucking ass out here!" And I'm like, "Oh, Grandpa, no!" And I call my dad.
Oh
my
my
dad, like,
God.
he's like, "Where is he?" And mind you, he has real experiences of this, and he hauls ass back to the house. What was
he
like
knows what's about to happen.
Oh,
Yeah.
what was if normally like a 15-minute drive was like a 30-second drive for him. And he jumps out of the car and he fucking cusses his dad
Right.
out. He's like, "Get the fuck off of my property. I'll fucking beat the shit out of you. You ever
Oh
come at my
my.
family again?" And I was like, "Oh, this is wild." 13-year-old me. But
Oh yeah, dude, that's a great story.
it's great.
That's
And-
wild.
Oh my God. It's just, but that's hysterical to me now because like I was a piece of little shit,
Right. He's and they're
and he's old, man.
from a different time.
Oh, bro.
Where like I still
He
think
was-
people need to respect their elders, but like
Yeah.
especially then.
He was 18 in Germany in a tank,
Oh,
So like, what the fuck do I know about hard
Right, yeah.
times? And like, that was scary for me as a little kid, but also like I have to take context of him like having a totally different life than
That's very true.
any of that.
yeah.
That's a really mature mindset, honestly. Like, it's
Yeah.
super cool that, I think, fortunately, I haven't lost someone in a while, but like, I think there should be some celebration, and and an open conversation
Absolutely.
about that kind of stuff. It shouldn't just be like
Oh,
this
dude, it
awkward,
should
like
always
shitty,
be.
like you said.
Don't be afraid to talk about the good shit and the bad shit because it's life. We're human, man. It fucking sucks and it's great.
Quick little thing is where I actually first learned to like kind of like understand death and just understand like it's not like the end of my life even was I worked in a nursing home. I was
Oh wow.
dude,
How was
yeah.
that?
I loved it. I hated the work. I loved the people. I would serve food and then like wash plates, and it was horrible. It was after high school, one of my weird like kind of doing music, kind of working jobs.
Yeah.
Classic.
I actually ended up getting fired because I would sit and just talk to the patients and people about Elvis and 50s
Wait,
music.
did any of them have like real life experiences with Elvis?
Oh, dude, I had this. Oh, dude, oh my God, this lady Rose who passed away. She actually ripped me up because I like became kind of close with her in there. But she like went to an Elvis concert in 1956.
Wow.
Like the height, like right when he was blowing up, and I was just
when
like,
he was jiggling his
she was like,
hips.
oh, dude. And she was like, it was crazy because like before Elvis, people went to a concert and they sat in a seat and they watched a show.
Oh, yeah.
And they clapped. This is the first time that people stood up at a concert. Before this, people weren't standing up at a concert and she's literally like, unless you're at like African American shows.
Yeah.
Back when they used to be like
Big time.
fucking
Where they invented
like
so much
different-
dance and like
Dude.
so much music.
And Elvis came from I can get
Yeah.
into Elvis all day, but Elvis
Yeah.
came, like, Elvis used to sneak out of his white church and go into a black church, and
Smart man.
yeah, oh yeah, that's where he learned a lot. And she's like, everybody started getting out of their seats and rushing to the stage, and people thought that there was like a fire drill happening, and Elvis just kept playing. And she's like, so I got up, and I was like 17 years old. I went to the stage, and I was screaming, and I touched Elvis's shoe, and I was like,
She hasn't washed that hand up till that point.
bro, I was sitting here just like dialed in, just goosebumps all over my body.
Yeah.
just listening. It was crazy. I had a bunch of stories like that with those people, but we get close to these people, and then they would pass away because they would be sick, or some would leave, some would like get better and leave, but some wouldn't.
Yeah.
And that was where I like learned. I was like, it's good to just like celebrate them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of a weird side story, but
No, I think
no,
that's
it's great.
important. I think like literally that conversation alone is important because you're remembering the fact that she had this beautiful moment with like Elvis in her own life where it was rebellious and fun. And
Yeah.
she was a kid, and
that was a fire drill. That's the coolest part in the world.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's important to ask people, what's your favorite memory of that person, or what's the coolest story you have with them or without them, or that you got to talk to them about, or anything, and what's your worst memory or anything like that stirs up some sort of fun emotion.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Totally. That's so rad.
But
Very cool.
I don't think he ever tried any mushrooms though, so that's what I'm a little disappointed about.
Elvis.
Who, Elvis?
No, my grandpa.
Oh, probably should have.
I legitimately want
If
to
you
get.
do enough, you could see him again.
Ooh, plot twist. The plot thickens, friends. Yeah, no, maybe.
Some Obi-Wan,
Obi-Wan Kenobi Ghost Force shit.
Yeah, dude.
Let's fucking get
where you can
real with
actually
that.
interact and.
Dude, I'm game.
I'm interested.
I'm just saying. I'm
curious.
There's some real crazy stuff that could happen.
Dude, I think I want to have both of you over the next time I medically
Shroom life.
embrace my
Shroom tech.
health
Shroom
and my brain recovery.
Yeah.
Because I had brain damage, you fuckers that think this is ridiculous. And I want to introduce you to the Shroom life.
Mr. Shrooms.
I'm
Yeah.
incredibly interested.
It would be so much fun. I've legitimately never had a truly bad experience. Like I've gone to the ER for panic attacks on weed, but I can't
sorry.
recommend
I think we all have.
enough. Oh, dude,
That's one of the main reasons that I'm nervous about it is
panic attack.
I've had
We
that.
share that.
Yeah, I've had that before, and that was
Yeah,
begging my friend to take me to the hospital was
on
less
weed.
than enjoyable. Yeah,
Yeah, it sucks.
but I think I'm a more mature and experienced person now since that has
National
happened, so-
Treasure, shrooms, we'll do it all.
dude,
we'll do
you
everything.
name it. Oh, that'd be great to watch
That'd
that.
be great. It would really make you believe there's some secret shit happening though.
Dude, there is.
I'm 100%
Oh, no, there
positive
is.
there's secret shit
Yo,
happening.
it was another side segue to secret shit. Have you guys been following this whole QAnon thing in the deep state government shit? That
No.
A little bit.
I'm sorry for anybody that follows this. You're full of trash. I have very close family members and friends that think it's very real. But SparkNotes version, there's a Reddit subreddit forum writer
Literally already out.
literally already out. Fucking
ahead,
so
keep going.
fucking ridiculous. But by the way, a large swath of the population believes this and buys into it.
Wait, that COVID was started by. Okay,
So-
I have heard of that.
Okay. So QAnon is actually JFK Jr. He survived the plane crash and somehow, even in his older age,
I love
is
it.
a very adept computer user, unlike my grandparents who couldn't fucking type a keyboard if you put it in front of them and taught them an entire course on it. Right? And he knows Reddit, which is even better, and 4chan. But he started a whole subreddit forum, and he's in the deep state with Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein back
Yes.
in 9/11
Yes.
made a sacred pact with somebody, and they created the COVID-19 virus that if he was ever to die, they would release it. And then that
love
was
it.
released against the Clintons and everybody else.
Well, we were just talking about this earlier today.
It's so bullshit, but
literally
I
just
love
talking about
talking
this.
about it.
Dude,
It's hot ass
Yeah.
trash.
it's just like
I
that's
cannot
some
get enough of this.
bored 27-year-old dude and
Dude, it's my fucking
Washington,
I have
DC.
an uncle who's deep on this. He's 50. Bro, and there's a whole group of people. It's all the conspiracy theorists, the people that think it's the apocalypse is here. We're just experiencing for the first time what third world countries go through all the time.
yeah, bro. And also we're experiencing what third world countries go through, plus we have Twitter.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
have Fox News.
Mm-hmm.
And we have all the news.
No, by the way, we don't even have it that bad. I mean, it's terrible. I'm not delineating the awfulness of this virus and what it's done to everyone around the world. But can you imagine being around during the Black Plague, right?
Yeah, it's just
Where
Spanish flu, anything.
it
The Black Plague was...
it killed off 1/3 of the world's population. It's not like
one of us would be
2%.
dead.
Literally, one of us would be dead. On top of that, what would it be? Like almost 3 billion people?
When is too soon to make a Black Plague joke?
not,
Probably too
not soon enough.
You're right.
Right away.
What would be the Black Plague joke?
I don't know. I just thought it's funny in my mind that the Black Plague is still too soon to make a joke about, but it was
Right.
what, 1400s?
Yeah, 1400s for sure. Everybody's like, I remember that. And you're like,
Well, I think it's both of what you guys kind of are saying. I mean, it's just like, yeah, I don't have to agree with you. You don't have to agree with me.
Yeah.
And I know a guy, and he believes a lot of things that I don't agree with.
yeah.
And I don't care. Like, I really don't.
Yeah.
But the
Who
thing
is
that
Tell me after.
No, seriously, what's his name and social security? Do you have his phone number?
I have his address, and
We can put a hit out on him.
We could.
We have
Perfect.
Cobras.
we need national treasure money. No, but we don't agree on a lot of things, and
Yeah.
he's a great friend of mine. But what I don't agree with is his need to shove it down my throat at all costs.
See, that's awful.
and
That's wrong on literally every front.
Yeah, and that's just because I've experienced that. That's like one of the things that really rubs me the wrong way. I mean, I really don't care. Like, I mean, as long as you're not hurting people,
Yeah.
you know, like, yeah, you have your beliefs, you have your thoughts. Like, that's truly awesome. But just because I don't believe what you believe doesn't mean that you have to like berate me every time we see each other about the fact that I
Like this
You know.
certain human for president. or
right. I
something.
mean, it's usually political and religious or whatever.
Yeah.
But like,
Also, here's something that sucks. I have a lot of friends that are Democratic and a lot of friends that are Republican.
Mhm.
I do not give a flying fuck either
Right.
party.
Right.
I care about you as an
it's
individual.
weird that anybody would ever.
Also-
It's so weird to me.
Dude, I have friends that are Republican that it's like they're fucking, they got death threats on them practically in LA.
I know.
They cannot say a fucking thing. And it's weird because my very like left wing, very left wing liberal friends will like crucify those people. But anything outside of politics, both of these people hang out all the time.
Yeah.
They never talk about politics because
It's
they will
crazy,
literally.
dude.
It's so divisive, and I'm like, why though?
I had a friend's mom who was like, who refused to go see, like, we wanted to go see, I forget which Mark Ruffalo movie it was, but a Mark Ruffalo movie. It was like, I think it was the Hulk. And she refused because he was mega
Left wing.
left wing.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking like, but just watch the movie.
Yeah.
Right.
He doesn't talk about politics in the movie. Just watch the movie.
Not once.
I remember like literally being 12 and being like, just like, you just don't think about it. Just watch the movie.
Yeah, just do
She's
it.
like, nah, I can't support that. And I'm like, you're not really though. Like you're
Yeah.
It's the Hulk.
Yeah, you're not support you. Yeah, you support fucking Starbucks, and they have like practically child slave labor in China. I mean, like, I don't know if they do or not, but like Apple does. Okay, you have your little iPhone, you got your AirPods.
Yeah.
right.
You know,
Yeah.
It's like
they have nets around their building because people commit suicide out of their building. Like that's awful.
I just heard about that actually too.
Yeah.
that's
insane.
It's terrible.
crazy.
But yet you go support them because they're an American company, and I'm like, we make excuses for everything that we want.
There's a lot of hypocrisy involved with it too.
I just,
which
I
is,
was agreeing to your point where I remember like at a young age, I was like, I just want to see the Hulk.
Yeah.
Literally, that's the whole
That's all I want to do.
principle of my thought was I just want to see the Hulk. I don't care if he likes this guy or that person.
yeah, it doesn't make any sense to
We
me.
can go on forever about this, I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like the lack of being a good person. I guess I don't even know how to say it better than that.
Self-awareness,
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, I don't want to tell the whole story, but just like the certain situation, it was just like, okay, we're at a bar, we're having drinks. I'm trying to enjoy your company. Let's just be friends. Like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
You know, and
We're
it's just
able to
like,
get this, a certain
and
jolt
You have
out
to
of it
agree with me, otherwise we can't be friends. It's such a legitimate part of our friendship.
what?
that you'll
Yeah.
never discuss ever.
It doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, we could talk about that forever. But
I like the idea of open confrontation. I'd rather have, honest confrontation than dishonest harmony. And I actually heard that from
ooh,
Joe Rogan, who I have to give him credit for because I did not invent that line, but it's so perfectly like I would rather have the truth, but I'm very comfortable in disagreeing with each other and being like, hey, that's okay.
1,000,000%.
Yeah.
I disagree on things with 90% of people in general.
I think you're a shitty person. So
Yeah.
that's just
Fuck. Well, fuck you then, man.
no. I totally
No.
agree with you. I
It's
totally
like
agree with you.
disagreement and disharmony is kind of what makes the world in general and beautiful and eclectic. And
Yeah.
if there wasn't different cultures and different styles, and people are
Right.
like, I don't like that style, I'm gonna make my own, we wouldn't have what we have today.
God, that's exact. I mean, I was literally weird that you said that because that my thoughts went to music on that.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even know, like the birth of jazz, the way that jazz started was in New Orleans because it was just the melting pot of people. That's where people moved from Africa, South America, and stuff like that,
France,
from
yeah.
everywhere. And
Canada.
that's how that style of music was born.
Oh God.
Don't get me started on New Orleans. I'll talk about New Orleans all day.
And jazz like made America what it is today.
It's literally. It's America's. It's
And then
the
once again,
first.
literally every music evolved from that.
I was just gonna say, take we were talking about Elvis earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Elvis is just a blend of country, rock and roll, which he created is a blend of country,
rhythm and blues, and
rhythm and blues, jazz,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
every other subgenre put
Yeah.
together, fat and then sped up.
So dope.
Yeah,
Love
it's so
that.
cool. Yeah, jazz is like the truth.
Yeah, 100%.
it's wild. I mean, that's what I went to school for, and it's wild to learn like the real history behind it when you think about people that we
nuts.
like now,
Yeah.
and I mean, Harry Connick Jr. is a perfect example.
Right.
As a just
yeah,
someone who knows the history and knows the lineage and pays respects to that too through his
Absolutely.
playing, which is just
Literally talks about it all the time.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
super cool.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
We've been doing
This is
it.
probably our longest podcast we've ever done, but it's been. I could literally talk all night. This has
Yeah.
been so much fun, dude.
Dude, you guys are great.
I have two questions for you,
Okay.
and I'm going
No
to
to
regret
both.
asking this question just because I feel like it's going to spark a whole another half an hour of conversation. But I thought about this earlier. You apparently have booked a huge, awesome role.
Yes.
Which is awesome.
Yes.
Dream role for you.
Luke Skywalker in Star Wars. Or Rocky
realistic dream role.
Why is that? That's
Revan-
super
It's done.
realistic.
Revan.
No,
in the
they'll
old,
redo it.
Revan in the Old Republic.
Oh, they could.
And so I want to write that and be a part
Okay.
of that, and I want to do that with Star Wars. But then also, dream role would be to
Sorry, realistic dream role sounded super mean.
Yeah.
I didn't mean it.
realistic.
that
You
way.
piece of shit. You're never gonna book anything.
Really.
Trash your dreams, you piece of crap. No, I think the Revan storyline would be something I've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
Or
Nice.
anything Avengers related at this point, or Star Wars, in that lineage of stuff, and Steven
Universe.
Spielberg with Christopher Nolan, any of those like heroes of mine.
Right.
I have another question
Mhm.
after that great answer, by the way.
Yeah.
So we have a segment of the show that we like to call the Drunk Chronicles,
Mm-hmm.
and would you be interested in coming back and just getting hammered and talking for?
If I can bring my peanut butter whiskey, I'm so fucking game to do
Oh,
that.
dude, yeah.
Let's go. I'm game.
It's probably it's like even looser than this, which is hard to believe. But it's
Wow.
just put our alcohol here and we drink it and we get drunk, and by the end we don't know what we're saying anymore.
That's
Yeah.
fucking great.
good time.
I'm super interested in listening and hearing that.
It's
We go wild.
the editing on that is going to be
Yeah,
truly
Unreal.
a nightmare.
we've done one episode and it's just atrocious.
Last question
Yeah.
for both of you guys
Mhm.
and for myself. One word to describe your day today.
Boners.
Wow, very quick.
Yeah. I actually didn't have a single one, but I just thought that would be like a great response.
Was
Yeah.
cloudy.
Mm.
Not a bad or good way.
Yeah.
Just cloudy.
Wait, hold on. Give some reason behind boners.
It's the most stupid answer I could possibly think of, and that it just instantly
answer.
came to my head. I was like, "That's so stupid."
It's the most famous answer we've ever had on this podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah, super honest. For me, I want to say productive so bad.
Don't do
That's
it.
what I say every time.
Highly productive, Gary V. You can do it, man. Just go ahead and double down on that. You know what? It doesn't. You start a podcast, and everybody's gonna be famous and listening to you, man.
Gary V's advice. Just do it.
Just do it. Just fucking do it. Just fucking do it, man.
Okay, but
What do I do?
What do I do? Just do it. You just gotta go out there and do it.
get up 6 a.m. Grind. grind.
Grind.
You go to bed.
You grind. Don't go to college. Drop out. Grind. So productive.
I like wake up at 6 a.m. Grind. Go to bed.
Grind.
What?
But Gary, like,
What are the steps?
what are the steps?
What do you think the logical steps are? You know them.
You think people that are grinding ask what the steps are?
Then just do it.
You doesn't ask questions. Famous people. Shut up.
No, how do you think you got famous? Wake up 6 a.m. grind.
I
also love
people
Gary
talk-
Vee.
I do too. I like Gary Vee. I just think it's so funny that like people are like, okay, like I want to be successful. You want to be successful?
Then do it.
Just fucking do it.
Well, I want to be famous.
Then do it.
But like, oh yeah, I'm super motivated. But like, how do I do it? You gotta get up before everybody else. You grind. You go to bed.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Simple as that.
Okay, I'll get up early, but then like, how do I work hard? You gotta do it.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Joke
So I
goes
want
on forever.
it's endless. How do I trade stocks?
Do it.
How do I go ahead and make a YouTube video?
Film it.
How do I become a chef?
Cook it.
Anyways, let's hear your one word answer. Not productive.
I'm gonna go with happy.
I like
Yeah.
that.
I had a good day today.
Yeah, same.
It was, and it's funny. We talked about this a bunch too, but just with this weird quarantine thing, it's funny how when I know that we're gonna do a podcast and we have like I have something to look forward to, my
Yeah.
day becomes very much.
Regimented.
I have
Yeah.
a structure,
For
and
once.
I feel that's why I would say productive, because I feel super productive because I'm like, yeah, I gotta
Yeah.
go to I gotta
You
go
have
visit
a
this
reason to get
time,
up out of bed.
and yeah, so I had a good day today. But
All right. I want to end with one statement from each of you, and one thing that if you could give somebody a piece of advice that is not just do it,
I was gonna say
to achieve their dreams of something they want to do, what is the most important information that you've been given?
Reach out and continue to reach out, whether that's phone calls, Instagram DMs, emails. Don't be scared to reach out, because
Yep.
people aren't going to hate you like you think.
Yeah.
People are very flattered to get reached out to. I've made the best relationships and the best friends that I have, music and in life, through Instagram DMs.
That's wild. That's
Literally.
dope.
Yeah.
I reached out to Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street.
Did you respond?
Yeah.
Dude, people respond. Like,
That's wild.
You'd be surprised that people, like the massive celebrities that have responded.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
And just people that I look up to and stuff. Yeah. People like to be,
Yeah.
looked up to and like to help out
Totally.
more than you'd think. And the people who don't, who fucking cares?
Yeah. Absolutely.
They're not going to hate you. They'll just be like, yeah, I don't feel like responding.
No, I think that's big.
Yeah. Reach out. That's
I like
mine.
that.
you unfortunately literally stole my answer. But no, I was thinking about this earlier when you were first telling kind of where you come from. You just applied to all these, and you called a million different people. You applied to a million different things, and then you said like how you just called a bunch of restaurants, and I did the same thing. And I'm not saying that I'm
It works
super
on some
successful
level.
by any means, but like, yeah, it's you just have to try, and you just have to not be scared of trying. I've probably said this on this podcast, probably the episode where we got hammered, but I remember this when I was in college. Like, there was a class where you had to call somebody that was doing something in your field. It was obviously musically related for me, but just call someone and interview them to ask how they got to where they're at. And the majority of the class was terrified to pick up the phone and call somebody. And I was just like, I don't like it didn't register with me, luckily. But what did register was I just didn't get why that would be a thing. It's like, you're in the music industry, you're in a self-employed industry. Like,
absolutely.
How do you think you're going to get anywhere without, if you're afraid to pick up the phone and call somebody?
Pick it up.
And yeah, I mean, it's funny that we all three had similar experiences like that. Because I think there is so much, and it's like what Spencer just said. I mean, the way I always think about it is that if you try it and it doesn't happen, then you're literally in the exact same place. If you didn't try, assuming that you don't like threaten these people.
It wouldn't be When's Lunch without one long-winded answer.
Yeah,
that's true. That's my MO. Is I talk for forever.
But I love listening to it. I love.
No, I mean, I that's
you
pretty
wouldn't
much
have.
it.
Yeah, that was my whole thing with you moving out to LA. Was worst case scenario, year goes by, you fucking hate it, you move back, same shit. You're back in Ohio doing the same shit.
Yeah, I mean, the way that I started playing for Spencer is kind of that exact story. Like, the very convoluted way that we got together and became friends and bandmates is just a weird stretch of emails and phone calls that if I wouldn't have been willing to do, then I literally
Never
wouldn't
been hired,
be here.
dude.
And
crazy.
and the reason it sounds like trivial, but it was at around that time that the people were too scared to pick up the phone, and I was just like,
Wow.
this is
Yeah, you're
literally a
probably still in
tangible
school.
example
Yeah.
of like what can happen
Absolutely.
if you're just
Crazy.
willing to try, you know.
I like that.
And so yeah,
I like that a lot.
thanks.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're gonna do mushrooms, and
Get drunk.
What's yours?
I can't wait. Oh yeah,
One Piece.
One piece of advice is my biggest pet peeve is wasted potential. And so when I see people that are the most creative fuckers in the world and they cannot get it together and they won't even try anymore, I hate that.
Yeah.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right? Michael Jordan.
Michael Scott.
Michael Scott.
Wayne
Sorry.
Gretzky.
Wayne Skotsky. But I'm such a big advocate of people putting themselves out there and know that you are going to get turned down 99 times out of 100.
Yeah.
Oh,
Be okay with that. Auditions in LA, right? Imagine this. You go for every 50 job interviews you go on, you get one. Now apply that to auditions. That's what it's actually like.
Right.
And those are good odds in LA. There's a lot of people that have never worked in their entire
Oh,
life.
dude, a 99 out of 100.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's average probably.
Right. And so I want to throw that stat back to any of the listeners that if you have a dream or something, if you put out 100 resumes, if you go to 100 job interviews and you get one, you've got great fucking odds. So keep doing it and do not stop, dude.
Yeah.
Just because you got turned down one time, don't get so butthurt about it that it ruins your dream. I'm sorry, but like,
No, it's the truest shit. That's so true, man.
if you're
That's
not
so
crying like for a month straight, you're not doing it right.
true. Yeah, literally.
Well, I'm glad that you explained that too, because I think that that's such a classic, like, just don't quit. That's literally Gary Vee. Like, we were just joking about
But
that.
if you get that shit, dude, if you get that shit, the 99 times that you didn't get it will make that one time the best thing you'll ever feel in your
Oh,
life.
dude, yeah. It means the world. When I booked this movie that I just did, hopefully you guys will, by the time this podcast airs, you'll be knowing what it is.
Probably.
It's so fucking good. It's so good when
You're literally
when
just
you
like,
do that.
oh my Lord.
Yeah.
This is that thing.
This is why I lived in my car. This is why I was homeless. This is why I
Yeah.
just sacrificed everything. This is why
Hell yeah.
this is it.
Yeah, but I like how you, I like how you explained it too, because you're right. It's like classic, like, don't quit.
Don't quit.
But you like,
Bring it up. Dude, I love you guys. This is fun.
love you too,
man.
bro.
Thank you so much for doing this. For real.
At the end of this podcast, we ask together, when's lunch? And you tell the camera, you tell us. You say, you tell us.
You tell us.
No,
All
not
right, ready?
yet.
1, 2, 3.
When's lunch?
Probably around 3 or 4 p.m. I know. Oh, sorry. Do it again.
Scratch it.
1, 2, 3.
When's lunch?
You tell us, baby.
Pierson Fode.
When's lunch? When's lunch? When's lunch?